Well, I think I'm pretty much ready to start here anyway. So, it is currently the 27th of January. It is Pokemon Day. There's a Pokemon Presents. And I feel like there has. Wow, I guess there's likes disabled. I feel like there hasn't been that much hubbub about the Presents this year compared to previous years. Like, I don't know if I'm just going crazy, or maybe I'm just, like, not following it as much as in previous years. So, like, maybe that's a my own fault there potentially, but I just feel like there hasn't really been a whole lot of buzz about this apart from it. Yeah, it's going on like it does every year. Um, we recently completed a playthrough of Pokemon Conquest. I still have the game case here just this last weekend. I haven't streamed at all since this weekend because I've been sick the past several days. I've been dealing with my OS getting reset. No, it's starting here in 8 minutes. Boop. Like that. Premieres in 8 minutes, so it's starting at 7 a.m. my time, so I was up early enough for this. I'm probably just gonna go right back to bed, like, after after this stream is through, because I am still sick. I am still recovering from being a cold, from having a cold. So I might be sniffling a little bit here on stream. I am feeling a bit better today than I was the past couple of days, where I was feeling really not super great. But I also haven't streamed since this weekend with Pokemon Conquest because I've been dealing with the fact that my C drive got reset because I was the only way to get, like, Windows working, and I made a backup of all my stuff, but I've needed to, like, re-download all my crap, and it's been taking me a little while. And Twitch is like, hey, we don't really feel like holding on to, like, old VODs and stuff like that anymore because, yeah, it's costly to us and we want to be more profitable and stuff. So yeah, you have 10,000 hours of content that we want you to bring down to 100 hours, or we're going to start, like, auto deleting. So I've been exporting so much stuff every single day. This completely screws, like, the speedrunning community, by the way. I I haven't really been doing any streaming or anything like that because I've literally just been spending every single day just exporting crap to YouTube. And I found out that there's also, like, a daily upload limit to YouTube of 100 videos, so I can only export, like, 100 at a time. So this video, this little direct reactions and discussion stuff like that, this video isn't even going to be able to go up until, like, much later today because there's a 24-hour timer that resets that I've been keeping track of, where it's like, once I've hit the point where it says you've reached the daily upload limit, I record the time, and then it's around that time the following day that I start exporting another 100 batch of stuff. So if I want to get, like, this stream right now up on YouTube later today, it's gonna have to be sometime after, like, 4:15 at the very earliest. I've been keeping track of, like, where I'm at. I've gotten into early 2022 now. Turns out you can also only have, like, 100 custom thumbnails each time. And I've been, like, making note of, like, other stuff I need to do. I'm just slowly moving over, like, all my full streams to YouTube, and it's been a massive pain in the butt. But hello, Gierkoviak, Christy, and Destine, how's it going? Think that limit on YouTube is reasonable? I agree, but a little bit of a pain in the butt now while I'm dealing with a bunch of stuff here. And I have been making some good progress, all things considered, when I have until April 19th, and I'm at, like, 2,681 to 2,700, like, in terms of the pages when I sort by ascending, like this. And you also have to keep in mind that, like, the first 1,000-ish didn't have, like, any parts here. It was literally just the full streams, because I used to delete the individual parts later. So, like, the first several hundred to 1,000-ish is just a whole bunch of these, so it's a lot more concentrated, whereas, okay, to about 500-ish, and then later on is when I still had, like, the parts kept on Twitch, and, you know, so Twitch really doesn't like people like me. They're using up storage for them, because I liked having backups of my parts and stuff like that, so I just wasn't deleting them, I was just unpublishing them and stuff, so, you know, it's really concentrated in the first 500, so I'm a little bit farther in than even this in that sense, when things are a lot more sparse later, so I am making good progress around the beginning of 2022 now. Premieres in 5 minutes. Beginning of Pokemon Conquest, we did end up discussing this upcoming Presents, and talking about how a lot of people have, like, really unrealistic expectations when it comes to stuff like this. So we made a joke bingo sheet. The reason why it looks like shit is because it was done in Paint, because my main, like, image editing software, Affinity Photo, I didn't have it on my PC at the time. My PC was reset. So I made this in Paint, and I just put it in, like, Affinity here, because, like, it's easier for me to work with from here. Like, if I want to make, like, a little token or something like that, I can just do this. I can probably just set it to be, like, a perfect, let's say 150 by 150. Let's set its color to red. like that, and then just set its opacity to like 50 or something. There we go. So this is the sheet that we made. So the very center tile that I made here was the public execution of Pal World that I just wrote out really crappily because I'm used to like typing things out, and then I found out that there was a typing feature on on Paint, so I wrote, or Pikachu showed, I guess, from like suggestions from people in the stream, and apparently I don't know how to type because that's not how you spell Pikachu. So some of these were my own ideas, a lot of these were other people's suggestions. Yeah, Japan flag, no way. Gen 5 3DS remakes, yeah, we could have that on here. And I made it a 4x5 at first because I wasn't paying attention, so like I had to extend it out and then make a little bit of space on the right side here for a little bit more because I was a little bit dumb. So the things on our bingo sheet here are Generation 8 remakes, a new Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Okay, maybe we'll will it into existence somehow. Oh yeah, and Micah Blaze said that if Pokemon Mystery Dungeon 2 remake got announced, he would give me 10 subs in my channel. And I told him that if literally anything, whether it be a remake or a port or whatever, about Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Gates to Infinity gets announced, I'll gift him 20. Maybe there will be Pokemon Unite 2 Unite Harder, Pikachu and Fire Emblem Heroes. Considering the lawsuits against Pal World and just, you know, hating competition from similar enough things, we're going on a crusade against Monster Hunter now, because a lot of people are really looking forward to that. Like, let's just go after them legally. Bloodborne. Bloodborne to PS5, or Bloodborne 2, or literally anything Bloodborne was, because everyone always wants those at the State of Play. Pokemon Concierge Season 2. Generation 5 remakes in the style of BDSP. Detective Pikachu Dungeon. Any sort of presentation here that's, like, in a flash animation kind of style. More Detective Pikachu. Pokemon Conquest 2, Electric Boogaloo. Pokemon Go to the Polls, or maybe get an expansion to Pokemon Go. Pokemon Cart. Zoro from One Piece somehow arrives. Again, these were just like, I was taking all sorts of suggestions here. We're getting the 10th generation and everyone is like super hyped and stuff. We're doing Dexit again. It wasn't controversial enough the first time. We're doing it all over again. I don't know how that would work, but no Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, so that tile's probably gonna get filled in. Either a mobile game update or a new title, so like I feel like that's probably happening here. The next Smash game is announced, and Ash Ketchum is announced as a playable character in the game. Pokemon Cafe Remix. Pokepark 3 is coming out. We're just gonna release the Switch 2 release date during the Pokemon Presents, or we're doing another Gen 1 remake. So I'm feeling pretty good about this bingo sheet. I feel like we're gonna fill in a lot of titles. In case it's not obvious at this point, I really don't have expectations when it comes to these kinds of things. A lot of people go into, like, gaming presentations in general with a lot of expectations and, you know, leave with a lot of disappointment. At this point, I just kind of go in without expectations, and whatever happens, happens. Whatever is announced is whatever I'll discuss. I'm not gonna be like, ah, man, that sucks, that it went a certain way. I'm just gonna take whatever we get. Not gonna be upset that some things don't get announced or some things do get announced. Though, I will honestly be surprised if nothing new on Legends ZA gets announced, considering it was announced like over a year ago. So I would imagine that they would show some footage, and I imagine it would be like a Switch 1 and Switch 2 title, or maybe just a Switch 2 title or something like that. I don't know. Would it run like significantly worse on the Switch 1? I don't know here. But yeah, I know that, like always happens with the Pokemon community, after a presentation, there's going to be, like, riots in the streets. No, I know that people are going to be at each other's throats online, because that's what always happens after Pokemon presentations. Whereas I'm just like, yeah, let's just deal with whatever gets announced after it gets announced. Let's not go in with any expectations. Like, let's not do that. Pokemon X Digimon partnership, that'd be interesting to see. Okay, so here's my guess. Pokemon Cafe Mix. Whoa, that is a little loud here. Pokemon Cafe Mix and Pokemon Sleep will get mentioned, probably. Two of these are much more probable than the others. Yeah. Maybe a situation with Twilight Princess or Breath of the Wild. Oh, at first I thought you meant like on the bingo sheet. You mean like in terms of Legends ZA situation? Maybe. But yeah, got that quiet and it's still loud. Yeah, that's kind of the way that it is with like my stream. Is the is the case. Like, my own volume might be, like, relatively quiet here, but, like, relative to my voice on stream, it can be a little loud. I'm gonna try to do it up, like, one little smidge, just to try to make sure that my voice is louder in OBS, which I can show here. It's like, I try to make sure that, like, my voice is, like, around here and the other volume's up to, like, maybe here-ish. I could probably turn it up a little bit more. I could probably even just turn it up in OBS then, is what I can do. Up to, like, here or something. I don't know. Heck yeah, look at that! The first tile on the bingo sheet. Or Pikachu is shown, I guess. Heck yeah, look, it's Pikachu. Everyone loves Pikachu. Can I quickly Alt-Tab? No, hold on. Pause, unpause, click on this, so I can quickly Alt-Tab between the two. There we go. So it's super convenient stuff. Heck yeah. Pikachu. Nah, Pikachu.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I'm Ishihara from the Pokémon Company.
Okay, well now I can't hear.
Today,
I gotta turn it up more.
27th,
Whoa, my mouse is like drifting.
Pokemon Day.
Joy-Con drift is sprains my mouse.
Pokemon Red and Pokemon
Sprigatito
Green
plush
games
is pretty
were
cute.
first released in Japan, marking the beginning of the Pokemon series.
The games that used to be the buggiest in the
29
series
years
until
since
Scarlet
the
and
birth of
Violet came out.
Pokemon,
Oh, so next year's gonna be the 30-year
and we've reached
anniversary.
this milestone
Pretty
through the
cute.
support of all you
I wanted to say
trainers
pretty
around
cool,
the
but then I
world.
read in the chat
Thanks
there
to
the
all of
Sprigatito
you,
plush, and then it
it's
came out
now
as cute, so I
possible
started
to
thinking
enjoy
about that.
Pokemon each day in a variety of ways.
Well, the ways that we allow, at least.
We
You
hope
want to
keep
play the
bringing
classic
new
games, be prepared to shell out like
experiences
several
brighten
$100
your day-to-day
online.
lives with Pokemon.
That or resort to piracy, which you know we frown
In
on.
today's broadcast,
So,
we'll be
sure, you
sharing
can play
all the
Pokemon
latest
all
news
sorts
about
of ways
Pokemon,
nowadays, but only the ways that we
including our
allow.
newest titles.
I want to
Please
play
enjoy
anything
the
older than
presentation.
what we want to let you have access to and, you know, get screwed.
It's the Netflix series
Yo!
Pokemon Concierge, taking place at the Pokemon Resort on
Yo!
Tropical Island.
Wait,
The story
okay, I
follows
just wrote
Haru,
season 2
who's
here,
still
though.
finding her feet as a new concierge. And
Is it just
Psyduck
to, like,
as they grow
advertise
together
season 1
through
more?
their interactions with the resort's
I never watched
Pokemon
this, I don't know,
Its
like,
charm
how
lies
good
in
or
the
bad it
warm
is.
visuals that can be achieved only through
So I can't
stop-motion
speak on its
animation.
quality. I
And
really
new
don't know.
episodes of Pokemon
Yo!
Concierge are in production. They are slated for release in September 2025.
Okay, we're off to a
Pokemon
great
will
start
Haru
here.
and Psyduck welcome as guests next.
Don't know
Take
what
a
it is.
first
Looks
look at a
original art
few of the
style wise.
Pokemon
Yeah,
they will meet
definitely
in
is.
this
I
motion test
don't know if it
footage.
was announced at, like,
Just
the
look at the
last
personality
Pokemon
and how
Presents.
they move.
I know it's been announced during,
But
like,
there's
some
more.
Pokemon presentations
For a
before.
limited time, the first 4 episodes are available to watch on Pokemon's official YouTube channel for free.
I think I saw that in
Please
my
take this
subscriptions
chance to
feed that
watch
they were
them if you
starting to
haven't been
upload
able
some
to
of these.
tune into Pokemon Concierge yet. And we hope you look forward to
Yeah,
the new
definitely a very
episodes
different
as well.
format for, like, a Pokemon kind of show with the stop motion kind of thing. And that's cool, I do admit.
Hello, everyone.
The guy looking like
It's Tony
Robot
from the
Chicken
Pokemon
is
Company.
another stop motion thing. I would love to
Next,
see a Robot Chicken
we have a
parody of
number of
Pokemon.
other
Maybe they've already done that
announcements
at
to
one
share
point.
with you.
I can't believe the very first announcement we filled in,
In
like,
Pokemon
one
Go,
of the joke
Pokemon
titles.
Go Tour Unova Global will take place on March 1st and March 2nd. This
Well-
event can be enjoyed at no cost from anywhere in the world where Pokemon
Someone had
Go
said,
is
like, an
available.
expansion. I don't know what a
During the event, the
Pokemon Go
legendary
expansion
Pokemon
necessarily
Black
is, but I'm
Serum
going
and
to
White
assume
Serum
it's
will
like
appear
that.
in raid battles and elsewhere.
Is what I would
Also,
imagine here.
trainers will soon have a chance to encounter Victini and Shiny
If we
Meloetta.
actually
We'll also
get,
share
like,
promo codes
there's
for
no way
everyone
we
to
actually get a
enjoy.
bingo
We
on
hope you're
this
looking
curse
forward to the
sheet.
new season
But if
2.
we somehow do, I'm actually going to lose my mind. Gen 5? Hasn't it been a thing since, like, 2021? I don't know if that's a shit post or something here, but, stuff with a Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. What is with the frame rate? Oh, it's about, like, Master ZX, is what it is. Gen 3 remakes again. Here, mobile game update, boopity bop. Also, when it comes to auras, I was thinking about potentially doing a playthrough of it before Legends ZA. I already did a playthrough of X and Y during the last 24-hour Cherry stream. I felt like that was the more important one to do before Legends ZA in terms of, like, establishing the story and stuff. So we have, like, a little bit of familiarity with Generation 6 before the Gen 6 Legends game comes out and stuff. But Auras does kind of expand on the whole Mega Evolution thing, introducing new Megas, introducing, like, some new lore with a Delta episode related to Megas. So, like, Pokemon Conquest uploads are still going on the channel. Yeah, there's Pokemon Sleep stuff. And I was thinking about potentially doing, like, an Auras playthrough before Legends ZA. Like, again, it doesn't feel, like, as important as doing an X and Y playthrough first. And I wouldn't mind playing, like, other games. Like, at the end of the Conquest playthrough, I mentioned how, like, the next Pokemon game on this channel is probably going to be XD Gale of Darkness, because I did Colosseum a while back. And I want to do XD Gale of Darkness next. I'm going to be sniffling here from time to time. So, I don't know if Aura's playthrough is something anyone would be all that interested in, or if I should just go right into XD Gale of Darkness instead, or if there's any preference there, or anything like that. But yeah, let's see here. Do Auras, it is really good. Yeah, I remember really liking Auras. I remember I didn't really like X and Y back when, but I actually did like Auras. I was right, the 2 currently supported spin-offs getting remakes. What a crazy shot. Maybe do Auras randomizer. I did do an X and Y randomizer.
Enjoy
Just do like the next 24-hour cherry stream like that. 2 24-hour cherry streams back to back of Pokemon randomizers.
In it, a new feature called
Wait, it's not back to back because the extra life one I did differently. The next 24-hour cherry stream is the 12th one. The last one, the 11th one, was the pinball one that I did. It was the 10th one that was Pokemon X and Y. Or just X, you could say. Wait until the 20th randomizer stream to have it a tradition? Wait. Like, 20th cherry stream, do you mean? Or, wait, what? Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. I've had a lot of people ask me, like, if I would ever play this. I was like, 1, I don't need to get, like, addicted to Pokemon TCG again like I was as a kiddo for a while. And 2, I don't have space on my phone anyway. That's something that I need to, like, go through here one of these days. I've just been so busy with, like, managing storage with, like, my Twitch video producer and stuff lately that I haven't had the chance. Oh, man. But I'm honestly surprised that they never made, like, Pokemon TCG Pocket earlier. Like, I remember I used to play, like, Pokemon TCG online all the time in, like, the Generation 4 era. I'd be playing against, like, people online. I think it had its own launcher, if I remember, and you would play it on PC. And I'm honestly surprised that they hadn't brought it to, like, just mobile devices sooner, because everybody has, like, a mobile device in their pocket, and that's a way to be making so much bank and stuff. And I've heard from others that apparently there are no, like, in-game microtransactions. Instead, it's just, like, the codes that come with, like, Pokemon card packs and stuff. Which, if anyone wants codes, like, go check out the Janland stream of Guzma and I opening, like, a whole bunch of packs and showing codes if no one's redeemed them yet. Maybe they've already been redeemed, maybe not. I'm a small enough content creator that I wouldn't be surprised if some of those codes still aren't redeemed. Ah, all the sniffles. Hello, Reggie Bump. Afternoon. Whoa. The ex-wife, Mega Lucario, EX. But yeah, 20th Cherry Street, my bad, no worries there. Still have like 300 Pokemon cards from the Red 2010s lying on your shelf in perfect condition, nice. I still have a shiny Lugia card on my shelf. Mega Evolution is coming, Pokemon Trading Card Game, makes sense, what with the whole Legends ZA thingamabob. A new series beyond its limits, so I guess they're bringing Mega Evolution back to TCG stuff as well. Next. Don't care for this, no problem with being late. But you missed Pokemon Concierge Season 2 announcement! Oh, man.
And Pokemon Violet games.
Oh, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet 2?
With a Rotom phone case giveaway.
Oh.
Along with a mass outbreak
oh,
and
man.
other
I'll listen
to come.
I'm gonna have a little bit of apple juice like the child I am.
Mighty Meowscarada, Skeledirge, and Quaquaval will appear in a series of Terra Raid battle events. And even more Pokemon are planned to appear in the future.
Yep. More timed event stuff to keep the game
and
trending and
Pokemon
stuff.
Violet games.
How do these mighty Pokemon differ? Like the ones in the raid dens? Or just did it call them mighty and I missed it or something? Either way, I wouldn't really be able to tell you. I don't know what theme this is, but that sounds like something I'm gonna get copyright claimed for. They're gonna bring red and blue to like NSO or something like that. This is what this is. All called Mighty. Okay. Or maybe it's Mightiest Mark or something? I don't know. Pokemon Water, Pokemon Sweat. This is gonna be the next 2 versions. Okay. I don't know exactly what this is gonna be for. The transitions are kind of cool. I will admit here. They're all available on mobile devices now. Nope. Wait. They're gonna introduce a showdown-like game and it's gonna be available on mobile devices like everyone's been asking for like years now. Or maybe not. That was a phone in her hands, not a Switch, right? Fix that, not actual gameplay footage. Are they actually introducing like some sort of showdown-like game? Because if so, people have wanted that a long time. Because there hasn't really been an official way to get that. You needed to go to Pokemon Showdown. Is it literally just a format to do Pokemon battles that they're introducing? There's Terrestrialization, there's Megas, Pokemon Champions. Is this their Showdown? Now in development for Switch and iOS Android. Yeah, I'm thinking that that's probably like a showdown-like format of just a game of being able to do battles.
What you've just seen is the world's first glimpse of a new title, Pokémon Champions. This title will be focused on the Pokémon battles you know and love from core Pokémon.
Are they
games.
actually doing like a showdown-like thing? That's gonna make a lot of people really
Continue
happy.
the tradition of pitting your skills against those of other trainers
Not having to
from
go to like
around the world.
third-party
But this
places
time,
like
we're
Pokemon
aiming for
Showdown.
these core-style battles to be enjoyed by more players than ever before. Game Freak, the developer of the core games, is carrying out the planning for this project.
Okay.
While development is being handled by the Pokemon Works.
I've never heard of the
And
Pokemon Works before.
Champions will be coming not only to the Nintendo Switch family of systems, but to mobile devices too.
Yeah, if you can do it
You'll be
across
able
the
to
Switch
choose how
and
you
like
want to
mobile
play
devices
based on
and it's
where you
just
are.
like a showdown like battle simulator.
What's more, you can
That'd be
also connect with
really
Pokemon
handy.
Home.
Just Stadium, isn't it? About time.
Thanks to this connectivity, you won't be limited to using Pokemon you can partner up with in Pokemon Champions. You'll be able to team up with Pokemon who joined you on your adventures.
Won't be
in
limited to
previous
Pokemon you can
games.
use in Pokemon Champions,
hope you're looking
implying that it's
forward to
not
battling
all
Pokemon
of them,
trainers from all
that
corners of the
Champions suffers from Dexit as well.
Stay tuned. For future
So,
announcements
if it is a
regarding
battle
the launch date
simulator,
of
then
Pokemon
sources
Champions.
like Showdown are probably still going to be superior.
Next, we'd like to share some information
Would you
about the
still be able
languages
to, like,
Pokemon
customize your own
games will be
teams, or-
available in. Mr. Tomás Cortijo, please take it away.
Like, it just gives you the options of using your own Pokemon in the mix as well, or do you have to go through a process of unlocking them in that game? Like, I'm... yeah, I don't know here. I'm,
que Pokémon Champions estará disponible en español latinoamericano.
I think I'm gonna hold
desde el
off
día de su
on,
lanzamiento. De igual forma,
any
además de los
expectations when it
9
comes to
idiomas
that
que los
until
entrenadores y
they
entrenadoras
release more
pueden
information
elegir,
before,
leyendas Pokémon
like,
ZA
to really find out whether
tendrá
it
también la opción de
is
jugarse en español
the
latinoamericano.
Pokemon Showdown
Esto
official,
significa que de aquí en
essentially.
adelante habrá 10 idiomas
Because if it
disponibles
is
para
just Pokemon Showdown,
Finalmente,
but
como
worse,
ya
that's
anunciamos
gonna
con
suck.
anterioridad,
Like, at least kind of
las
have, like, a lot of the
futuras
same stuff that
expansiones del
Showdown
famoso
has.
juego de cartas coleccionables
And then people would
Pokémon
start using, like, the
estarán
official
también
means rather than
disponibles en español
rather than
de
Showdown
Latinoamérica.
a lot more.
Localizar productos
Ah,
como leyendas
all the-
Pokémon
oh my
ZA
God.
al español latinoamericano.
I'm feeling better today
permitirá
than I
que
was
millones
yesterday.
de
I was feeling
nuevos
so
fans
dang lightheaded
se unan a
yesterday.
la comunidad
I was
global
gonna
de
go in and
Pokémon
train in
y se
Taekwondo,
conecten
but
con
I
otros jugadores
stayed at
de
home because I
formas
felt like I was
nunca
gonna
antes
pass out if I
vistas.
did.
Como parte de The Pokémon
But
Company
yeah,
Group,
it
este es un
is a
claro
company
ejemplo
established
de
in
una
March
misión
2024 as a
de unir
joint
al
venture by
mundo
the
a
Pokemon
través
Company
de
and
Pokémon.
Ilka. Oh,
Saber que los fans disfrutan aún más
Okay.
de jugar Pokémon en su idioma local
So it's kind of
nos
like a
permite
subset
explorar
of
nuevas formas
Pokemon
para
Company and
invitar a los
Ilka.
jugadores de diferentes regiones y mercados como Latinoamérica. Este es un momento increíble para
and
ser
if it's just a
fan de
battle
Pokémon,
simulator, I'm sure
sin
Ilka could get
importar en
that
qué
down
parte
just
del
fine.
mundo te encuentres, por lo que no puedo
I
esperar
think
para
Pokemon Brilliant
reunir a
Diamond
todos
Shining Pearl is
ustedes
probably
en
like
sus
the
próximas
most
aventuras.
beautiful the environment
Nos vemos pronto.
backgrounds have been in battle in a Pokemon game. I actually
Finally,
really like them.
Here's the latest update on Pokemon
Okay.
Legends ZA.
Just hope they don't continue the same trend of reusing animations for every game. Oh, you could see the bars load in a little bit more detail a moment later, as the fade-in just finished. This is already looking graphically better than Scarlet and Violet. Still doesn't look like something like Monolith Soft would come out of. But it's actually not looking shit. Okay, so those are the starters. Oh, Tepping is the fire one. Who wanted that? Wait, 2 Johto starters and then Tepping? Come on, like, have 3 different starters from 3 different generations. Chikorita Totodile? Fuck you, Cyndaquil fans, here's Tepig. They didn't let you get, like, the best Johto Fire starter. Here's, like, the 2 worst ones. And Tepig for some reason. That starter lineup sucks. Oh, and they're, like, running around in battle? That's kind of... Whoa! Okay. Yo, we need one of those Mega Ring toys that it was brought to my attention existed during the Pokemon Conquest playthrough. Where you can tap it in real life and then you Mega Evolve in game. The environments look like something you'd see in Detective Pikachu. But, like, better. Detective Pikachu Returns looked pretty awful. Just in terms of, like, here's a city that you explore. Because the Pokemon games usually don't feature, like, a massive city for you to explore or anything.
Pokemon series. The story takes
Like, it still
place in
doesn't look
Lumio
breathtaking
City, the
graphically.
largest city in the Kalos region.
But
Prison
it
Tower
doesn't
stands
look
tall
terrible.
At the center of this city of beautiful vistas. These days, Lumios
To the same
is
extent
undergoing
here.
a high-tech urban redevelopment
Yeah, see, he's
plan
here
to
now.
turn it into a city that people and Pokemon truly share.
Oh man,
After you
jeez.
arrive in Lumio City to see the sights,
Do you know
you'll
what it
meet
would have
3
looked like
Pokemon,
back
one
when
of which
it,
will become your first partner.
Back when they first announced that it was a
Chikorita,
thing that existed.
Tepig, and
But if it
Totodile.
would have looked comparable to, like,
You'll
Legends
choose one
Arceus
of
or
these
Scarlet and
Pokemon
Violet
to
on reveal, then
accompany
they
you
definitely
on a new
benefited from
journey
keeping
as
it
you
in
get
the
to
oven
know
longer before
Lumio
revealing
City
it.
and its inhabitants.
Oh, all the sniffles.
Here are some of the colorful characters
And
you'll
as always with the
encounter.
modern Pokemon games, the human
When you
characters
arrive
look
in
awesome.
Lumios, you'll meet a new friend
But
and
yeah.
ally.
Yeah, it's
Either
just
Urbane
okay.
Or Tawny.
Compared to, like, Legends
The
Arceus,
hotel
Scarlet
where
and
you'll be
Violet,
staying
this looks
is
amazing.
Run by AZ. You'll
Oh,
also
look!
meet his partner, Floette.
Wait!
Lumios's redevelopment is being managed by Quasartico Inc. You'll be
So a lot of people thought that this was going to be like a prequel to X and Y, because it was all about like the development of Lumio City or redevelopment or something like that, and it would lead into it. But I guess it's a sequel then instead, considering AZ has his partner Floette here.
To help people and Pokemon
As a main character in Pokemon X and
the
Y.
city has set up wild zones. These areas, located throughout Lumios, give wild Pokemon habitats where they can thrive.
Habitats they can thrive, when there's literally just a
Catch one
road
of
going
these
through
wild
the area.
Pokemon, aim carefully, then throw
So
a
would that, like,
Pokeball.
cafe be open? Or something here?
If you're having
I thought
a
it was
hard
gonna be,
time
like,
catching
public
one,
parks or
have
something
one of
like
your
that.
Pokemon use
But nope,
its
it's
moves
just
to weaken the target,
fully
making it
residential
easier to
areas.
catch.
How do the Pokemon, like, live here? Just,
This
like, get
game
shelter
offers
under,
a
like, a
style
bench or
of
something like
Pokemon
that? You'd think
battling
that the
not
city
seen
would
in
give them something a
previous
little bit
titles.
more natural. And that's what I kind of expected, was that there was going to be,
Moves
like,
can
some
have a
natural
longer
parks
or
kind of
shorter
areas.
or
But I guess they
different
just
areas of
exist in, like,
effect. So
regular
choose your timing
cityscape
and
kind of
positioning
areas.
carefully to gain the upper hand.
Oh, interesting. You're not sold? Fair
Lead
enough.
Your partner Pokemon through battles and dodge incoming attacks. Swap Pokemon.
Yeah, and if I
with
wasn't a
Mewtwo
content
and
creator,
find the
like,
right moment to unleash
This
a
would
move.
not be enough to convince me to get it.
What's more,
I would still
certain
wait until
Pokemon
it,
can
like,
go
came out
beyond
first
evolution
to,
by undergoing
you know, decide whether or
Mega
not I was getting it. But as a content creator, like, I'll do a
When a
playthrough of it on the
trainer's
channel
keystone
here and check it out and
resonates with
stuff.
the Mega Stone held by their Pokemon,
Is what I'll do.
the Pokemon will do more than just change shape.
I think the most disappointing
It'll
part is
unlock
the
a
starters.
new level of power, turning the tide of battle in its favor.
I assume, like, maybe the stars will get, like, mega evolutions, kind of like the
As Lumios
Pokemon
continues
auras
its
introduced for the
transformation
starters
into a
there.
city that belongs to both people and Pokemon.
Is what might be the case.
Who knows what kinds of encounters
Why
and
can't we escape
experiences
Tepig?
will
He's an
await
awful
you.
starter. Oh, there's gotta be Zygarde cells. Suppose that's no surprise
Pokemon
there.
Legends ZA.
If it
coming
wasn't
late
Pokemon related, I think this
2025.
game would be pushed off as filler in a Nintendo Direct. Honestly, you're probably not wrong. Has it been that long since Megas were a thing that we needed a recap? Yeah, definitely did. So is this still Legends ZA? This is a promotion made announcement? Is that promotion match announcement? So there's gonna be battles in the friggin' tower. In the tower. In the...
Pokemon Legends Z
Yeah, it is like a
scheduled
good
to
tower.
release in late 2025.
Okay.
We hope everybody can wait just a little longer for their adventures in Lumios City to begin. That concludes our announcements for today.
Wow, really short one.
Thank you very much for watching.
Well, a lot of people were saying that, but it wasn't ever confirmed. So that, I guess that's it then. So just really short, to the point kind of presentation. Okay, well. Show chat. One Gen 5 remakes. What the fuck are all those starters? But yeah, no. And sir, that's it. That's the last episode. This could have been a bingo if we just rearranged. You know, if we rearranged, though, it would literally be, like, a bunch of freebie kind of things. Like, these are all, like, freebie things. And, like, the one actual kind of surprising thing here. Like, the fact that we actually filled in, like, one surprising thing here is enough already. But yeah, I had no expectation, neither disappointed nor satisfied. Yeah, fair enough. Guess Harmonia won his bet? What was my bet? I don't remember making a bet, apart from, like, betting to Micah Blaze that if anything with Gates to Infinity gets announced, I'll gift him 20 subs. And if, anything with Pokemon Mystery Dungeon 2 gets announced, he'd give me 10 subs. Was the case. See what they're currently updating in Minecraft? I have not. I haven't actually touched Minecraft in a decent while, yeah, well, I guess just the fact that I'd be gifting him 20. I'm not getting 10 from him. If only PMD2 got announced then. Wonder what your opinions of me? I don't know. Let's discuss that at the end of this. Here, let's put, like, my DBD stream playlist on shuffle. I don't even play DBD anymore, but I still call it my DBD stream playlist. It's just, like, my good go-to, like, chill remixes playlist and stuff. I would like to discuss this a little bit first, considering this is, like, the main focus here, and anyone who watches on YouTube after the fact would be here for, like, this first and foremost. So the different stuff here. Oh god, they probably already delisted it. Let's see here. It's probably a video now, right? Yeah, so here's, like, the episodes of Pokemon Concierge. So they're just putting it up and stuff already. Pokemon Legends ZA's second trailer. Okay, well, I won't be able to check everything here quite yet here. Also, I wonder why there wasn't like the main Pokemon channel that did like the presents. I don't know why it was Pokemon Asia English. I mean, if I just look up Pokemon right now and go to like the channel. Oh, here's the official Pokemon YouTube channel that was doing it. The only place that I found that was doing it before was the Asia one there. Can I... Okay, I can just check this here really quickly. Hello, Rick and Man. I expected nothing, yet you're still disappointed. Fair enough. We didn't even get to mobile games this time. No, you missed it. It was at the beginning. So we got, like, Pokemon Concierge Season 2, or whatever you want to call it. New episodes, or whatever the heck. I'm going to turn this back down to where I had it before, like here, so it's a little bit easier to hear me. Which is, like, cool for those that enjoyed that. I never checked it out, so I don't really know much about it. Gotta watch Horizon sometime here. That's the only thing that's worth hype. I've heard a little bit about it. I don't know too much about it. There's more stuff coming to Pokemon Go. My mom will probably like that. She still plays Pokemon Go to this day. Yeah, so here's this stuff coming to Pokemon Masters EX. Anybody remember the whole scandal with Pokemon Master Sex? That was like one of the funniest things. When Pokemon Masters EX first came out, and they were using like hashtags on Twitter to promote Pokemon Masters EX, it was all in lowercase, I believe, so it wasn't clear like where one word ended and one began. So while it was meant to be like Pokemon Masters EX, because it was all lowercase, it just looked like Pokemon Master Sex. And that was what the Pokemon company was spreading. That's gotta be one of the funniest social media blunders when it came to Pokemon related stuff. Yeah. Well, that's the way that works with, like, hashtags and stuff there. That was actually one of the funniest things. Actually, we got that Hatsune image from, though, for those who get what you're talking about. Oh, noes. Yeah, the obligatory Pokemon Cafe remix thingamabob there. Pokemon Sleep. I've heard that people apparently even, like, shiny hunt in Pokemon Sleep, which the fact that people are, like, shiny hunting Pokemon in their sleep is, like, one of the funniest ideas to me. Yeah, of course, more Pokemon Unite stuff. I don't know who's still playing this. I most definitely am not. But I guess some people like really like the MOBA formula with Pokemon. All the power to them. I feel like a lot of this stuff I kind of already talked about everything I wanted to talk about as we went through. Like, there's not a whole lot of stuff I have to add to some of these earlier things. again, like, more stuff coming to the Pokemon TCG. The fact that they're bringing Mega Evolutions into it clearly shows that, like, they do want to push, like, Megas again during, like, this upcoming era. For a little while, at least. Of course, have Pokemon Scarlet and Violet still be, like, somewhat trending, because people are like, hey, there's new stuff, we should come and, like, experience the new stuff, for those that do want to be, like, up to date all the time with the friggin' Pokemon stuff. I don't know what to say there, with, like, every Pokemon update that comes out. They didn't hide likes on this one. Yeah, I guess this is probably just, like, a stadium-like thing. So, is it going to essentially be, like, the equivalent of Pokemon Showdown here? Because Pokemon Showdown, for those that don't know, has long been just, like, I really like this background here. Look, it's the guy with the hat. Where did I put my hat? It's the guy with that hat. I'm gonna be honest, I completely forgot to, like, put on my hat. I didn't tie my hair up today just because, like, I'm sick and I didn't feel like it. I usually put on my hat when I'm streaming, and I just didn't remember to this time. But, yeah, I'm feeling a little bit sick anyway. I guess there's an installer. I don't know if I've ever really used Pokemon Showdown. But yeah, it's literally just like a battle simulator. So, as opposed to actual Pokemon, where you need to grind for tens of hours trying to get like the perfect Pokemon that you want, you can literally just make like whatever. Hi, did you have a good day? No. That's too bad. I hope playing a Pokemon Showdown today can help cheer you up. It's gonna make me rage. So, okay, so yeah, stuff like that makes sense. Add Pokemon, and you can literally just make, like, the team that you want and stuff. Like, what moves can you have that I should get on here? And you can just have your team be made just like that, and then, like, go face off against other people, do, like, different formats and stuff. I'm just gonna block for now. And just configure them however you want here. To configure their Terra type, do whatever the heck you want here. So, whenever people have wanted to do, like, testing out, like, builds and stuff, like, it's a great format also to, like, test builds before putting in, like, the tens of hours to, like, make it an actual Pokemon game, if they do want to compete in, like, the VGC. But you still have to put in, like, that butt ton of time to, like, make it if you do want to play in, like, actual, real competitive Pokemon. So, if this is going to just be, like, an actual battle simulator, kind of similar to Showdown there, then it's going to be, like, really helpful for a lot of people, I've no doubt. Especially when it's connected to, like, the other games, and you can play on, like, mobile devices and, like, the Switch, kind of like Pokemon Unite in that sense. But I am a little bit worried here, like, is it going to be, like, for free, just build whatever team you want here, but then it doesn't transfer to, like, the other games, or how exactly does it work? So I'm gonna wait until, like, more information gets announced before I discuss this further. Like, it does definitely have potential to be, like, incredibly helpful to a lot of people if it is a Showdown-like team builder, testing out just battle-focused kind of game, where you can use whatever the heck, since, you know, Pokemon's never really had an easy format to do that. But we'll see what it ends up being like here. But yeah, actually, how could Pokemon Showdown not be turned off yet? How has it managed to stay alive? Like, how have they not been, like, sued to all living hell? I know that they're not monetized, which probably helps matters. Usually these kinds of projects get terminated rather quickly. Maybe because people would riot because, like, there is no substitute in, like, the main line Pokemon games. Maybe they're gonna release Champions and they're like, hell yeah, time to sue Showdown. Why do I want to be competitive? I could just go in with a Sfeel on my team. Good question. Yeah, just show up to a Pokemon competitive event with a Sfeel and just make everyone's day and stuff. Speaking of competitive Pokemon, here's a hat that I could potentially wear. Here's the Pokemon International Championships. What, 2024? Oh, that breaks the tracking on my camera. Give me a second here. Guzma brought this for me because the International Championships were in New Orleans this past year where he lives. So, there's Ceruledge and Amarouge, or whatever the heck it's called. And, you've got the Pokemon International Championships thingamabob there, 2024. I can make it look like I totally went to, like, a super competitive Pokemon event and stuff. This doesn't really fit over as well as, like, my other hat here. Look at that. I'm a competitive Pokemon player now. I just knocked Pokemon Conquest right into my trash can. That is very much not why I wanted to happen, and now it is covered in 3D printing filament that is all over in there. Let's not have Pokemon Conquest be in there, how about? That is not a great idea. Also, the art they showed from this game seems to come from Gen 8. Let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and mute that. Also, there was something said about in the leaks, I believe. The AI cannot comprehend the mightiness of the cap. Is it comfy? It's definitely different. Like, it feels... My one here just kind of, like, very loosely kind of fits around. It's this kind of... It stretches a little bit and kind of conforms to, like, my head and is very comfy there. This one is a lot harder in the front. Like, you could very much feel, like, the brim of it, if that's the right turn here. And it feels like it's stuck to, like, stay wide and stuff like that. Like... This brim feels like, you know, you can stretch it, turn it, you can tell that it's dirty and, like, had a lot of years of use and stuff like that here. But, like, this one feels like it's kind of stuck wide, and it kind of extends past my forehead a little bit, and there's, like, a little bit of a gap. So it does feel a little bit off, because, like, this would be, like, the edges of my head, and then this is, like, the brim of the cap. Like, it doesn't quite fit like that. It doesn't really come down. It's just kind of like very flat and extended out, and it feels a little odd. Definitely not the worst hat I've ever worn, but it's definitely not quite as comfy as my main go-to or anything like that. Honestly, more excited for Champions than I am for ZA, and that excitement is like, sounds interesting, I guess. Yeah, fair enough. And yeah, maybe they will have like an official alternative to Showdown, because there hasn't really been that. But yeah, I'm gonna wait on like more information before I kind of decide what's going on with this. Pokemon Champions looks like it's gonna be Pokemon Stadium, but nothing with the charm. I mean, I'm gonna turn this down a little smidge, as much as I love me some Planet Coaster music. I know that something like Pokemon Showdown is like as basic as it gets, though, in terms of like what it looks like. Like, it's not gonna have all that much charm either. So, you know, maybe it'll be like a really cool alternative for some people. This looks like art you'd see in something like Pokemon Unite, is like the impression that I get from this. It's at least the case. So I'll be focused on the Pokemon battles. He spilt Conquest. He must be paid by Game Freak to promote the new games. Actually, just realized all the megas they hyped up already existed. No new megas. Yeah, I'm sure that they'll announce more ones later. How funny would it be if Legends ZA just didn't have any new megas? But they showed like the first gameplay footage. Hello, hello, Captain Piplup. How's it going? Yeah, so they're carrying that out and stuff. And then just like, yeah, it's coming in some more languages and stuff. I'm gonna be like super accessible and all those things. And then the stuff with Legends ZA. Oh, that's just my music here. I was confused for a second there. I'll be faithful to the original games for, what, the megas? Yeah, I was just about to go over that. I'm kind of going over things with the presentation, just getting to Legends ZA again. So these are at like a certain quality. Is a higher level of quality popping in like I first thought there? Maybe it's just like the camera angle shifting or something weird? I don't know. But yeah, I think like always with the modern Pokemon games on the Switch, the human characters look great. Like, I've thought across all the modern Pokemon games on the Switch, that like the human characters have looked consistently really good. They pop, they have like good character design. Also looks like it's capped at 720p, at least for me. I wouldn't be surprised if it was. Bam, the enhanced bitrate and stuff. Looking pretty cool there. If I only wanted the old megas, I'd pick up Ultra Moon, which is more than this so far. Yeah, I'm sure there will be at least that. Graphics for ZA look good in some areas, but barren in some parts. What is going on with that there? It's just like little... What is that? Extending out from the windows. Ugh, my runny nose and all these sniffles. Probably gonna be getting a little bit more rest, like, shortly after this. Except for the overworld character models on BDSP, true. That is a good point. Do have to keep that in mind. Do we have a backwards fanny pack here? Is that what's going on? But yeah, compared to like the first gameplay reveal of like Pokemon Legends Arceus and friggin' Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, it does look a lot better in comparison. Like, just as a little bit of a reminder here, let's see here. Pokemon Legends Arceus trailer 1, like the way the starters looked in that, I think was like the most, like they did look better in the final product, but the way the starters looked in like the first trailer for Pokemon Legends Arceus had to be like one of the most embarrassing things I think I've ever seen, and I'm surprised that more people didn't shit on it. And like people are going to war being like, yeah, they look just fine. Like, they look like basic models that were just pulled out of, like, Gmod or something like that. They didn't look like official models. Like, there is at least, like, some shading, some shadow effects on these, but with just, like, how bright and popping they are, they just felt like... They felt like Gmod models. They felt like someone made, like, a Gmod kind of... ROM hack? Would that be the right term here? Probably not. But a Gmod Pokemon mod kind of thing. And then these were, like, the Pokemon that you could get. And wait, where's the Bidoof? Where is the Bidoof with like the void eyes? That's the one that I remember I was the most stunned by. Here we go. Look, there's no hint of life anywhere behind those eyes. It's just a black void. Again, that changed like before the final release. It did look better in the final release. There was actually something behind those eyes. But in the first trailer, them showing models that just had like cold, dead, completely black eyes was you know, certainly something. So we're not quite there anymore. We actually are taking a little bit more time before we reveal the product. And, like, I feel like what we're seeing now is what we can probably expect the final product to look like. Probably no more of this, yeah, the game is gonna look like shit in the initial trailer, but we're gonna make it look like not quite as bad before the final release. I feel like now we're probably at the point where it's like what we see is what we get. I think that they did realize, oh, we are definitely showing stuff a little bit too early, which is like yeah, it definitely looks better than Scarlet and Violet and Pokemon Legends Arceus, which I am glad for. I'm gonna be honest, the UI looks and feels a little awkward for Legends EA somehow. We're gonna have to like re-look over that UI. Something about how simplistic it seems to try to be feels weird. I'm gonna have to double check it here. Did like Legends Arceus, I'll give it that. Easily the best mainline game on the system. Yeah, I'd say that, like, in terms of, like, general gameplay loop and fun, Legends Arceus was the best on the system. It definitely had, like, a lot of issues and a lot of stuff that I want to improve. But out of all the batch of mainline games on the Nintendo Switch, I would say that was definitely the best. I also see that, like the previous titles, we aren't really rendering shadows past a certain distance. So it's like, hey, here's a shadow on our character's model, because of course there's always going to be that. I think that guy looks like he has a shadow. It's kind of hard to tell. It might just be like some of the tiles here. I can tell everybody over here clearly does not have a shadow. The trees do not have shadows. The buildings have shadows, which is good at least. But it doesn't seem like we need to get very far for things to not have shadows. And I do wonder if there's going to be like Legends Arceus style, like shadow popping kind of stuff. Now it feels like a game intended for the Switch 2 at least. Maybe the Switch is more than capable of, you know, running so much more than this. I mean, look at any Monolith Soft game. Look at Xenoblade Chronicles X on the Wii U and the fact that it's coming to the Switch and looking even better. And they somehow decreased the file size. Like, what kind of ninjutsu does Monolith Soft even do? Like, hold on. Xenoblade Chronicles X, Wii U file size. Let's see here. Is listed as 15 gigabytes on the eShop page, whereas the Wii U was originally 22 plus gigabytes. Somehow they've added, like, more content, improved the graphics, and decreased the file size, and had, like, one of the most seamless open world games ever made. For those that don't know, Xenoblade Chronicles X, let's see here, Xenoblade Chronicles X map. This entire map is seamless. You can literally walk from one side of the map to the other with no loading screens. The only loading screens in the game are, like, if you teleport, or if you're going, like, inside the Blade Barracks here. I think those are the only real loading screens, that and like loading cutscenes or something like that. In terms of exploration, you just go, or you can just like fly from one place to another, and it's insane. And the world looks beautiful in games like that. I'm really looking forward to that coming out next month. So it is possible to do like some really crazy, amazing, seamless open worlds and stuff. So the Switch can more than handle like way more than this. But considering how Legends Arceus and Scarlet and Violet was optimized, I wouldn't be surprised if they were like aiming this mainly at Switch 2 and stuff like that. But yeah, let's see here. Probably has to do with loading and unloading, but done in a really good way. You mean like with the monolith stuff? I mean, it's probably a lot more than that even, just like general, like, compression and optimization, stuff like that, but that is definitely a factor. And we're talking about art styles and how each game looks. I like Sword and Shield's art style the most on the Switch. If we're not discussing the free roam area, the cities look really nice. I agree. I think my favorite in Sword and Shield is Balanleia, but the general cities and stuff like that actually look really good in Sword and Shield. I feel like a big reason for that is like the locked camera angles, the fact that you can't turn the camera in the city. So like they could design every place to look like really good from one particular angle and just keep you looking that one angle. And the cities are designed to not be difficult to navigate locked to that one camera angle. So you just always see like it's good size and it's easy, good size, good sides, and it's easy to navigate. What? And it has visual charm. Oh man, I have all these sniffles. Yeah, that's Balanleia there. That one looked really cool. I wish it was bigger. I wish it wasn't just like 2 houses, a Pokemon Center, and a gym, or whatever the heck it was. So long as the shadows are consistent, the game won't panic half the time, won't complain that much. And these are the standards we've come to now. Update alone was almost nothing in concept, but massive in size, and it somehow made the game run better. With Pokemon, I almost said X and Y, with Xenoblade Chronicles X, the update was like 10 gigabytes or something like that. It made the game load faster. Although somewhat sad, was the peak of the... Wait, although somewhat sad, that was the peak of mainline Pokemon graphics, was Sword and Shield with the cities. Yeah, I think you're right. Like, I look at this, I don't see anything that compares to, like, some of the Sword and Shield areas. Like, let's see here. Pokemon Sword and Shield Balanleia. Like, look at how cool this is. Isn't that actually just genuinely so cool if it, like, loads in better graphics here? Like, they actually had some really cool-looking areas. Yeah, I was right. It's just a Pokemon Center, 2 houses, and a gym. That's it. Like, lame. I really wanted this place to be bigger instead of just, like, this tiniest thing ever, because it's probably, like, one of the coolest Pokemon cities ever. And, like, one of the smallest Pokemon cities ever. Like, it's a little sad. I was just curious whose playthrough thing that was, if it was someone I recognized. I can't spell sword, apparently. What was the name of the dragon place? Can I just look up cities? I don't remember the name of the dragon place, but like this place was really cool as well. With like the big castle and stuff like that, and you going around like the outside castle walls and stuff. And even stuff like this visually looks like just the best mainline Pokemon has seen, you know? Like the cities in Sword and Shield were actually like really good looking. Was it called Blackthorn? Whoops. Okay, nope. But yeah, that definitely feels like it was the peak when it came to, like, Pokemon City graphics. Or, like, this one here that had, like, the gym that was different depending on which version you played. That one looked good here. Or the ice place that I'm forgetting the name of. It feels like we're never quite going to get to, like, that level of charm and popping kind of visuals and stuff like that. Yeah, I think it probably is called Spikemuth. No, Spikemuth is a dark place. But, like, the dark, edgy alleys and stuff like that. Even that, it's kind of a tiny image. Even that has, like, its own charm and stuff, too. I feel like we're never really going to get to that point anymore. And one concern with Legends ZA, with it taking place in just, like, one city, is what's going to stop it from getting repetitive? Like, are the different areas of the city going to be different? Is it going to be like the areas of Pokemon Legends Arceus where each of them is like its own biome and style that has like its own unique feel to it? Or is it all just going to be one massive city? That's my concern, is that it's going to feel like it gets stale like really quickly because everything looks the same. Oh god, have we reached a point where Sword and Shield are going to be underrated masterpieces because of how bad we had it? Oh god. Imagine 2036 when Switch 3 is out and the Pokemon Company finally make a good-looking game by today's standards. Yeah. Like, looking at this, like, it doesn't look awful. Like, I look at this and it's like, okay, yeah, there's still definitely room for improvement. Like, there's no shadows here or anything. I don't know what's going on with, like, the windows over here. But it doesn't look like shovelware crap anymore, at least. Never worried that this is going to end up as the most mediocre Pokemon game. We'll see here. Yeah, I guess we don't really know a whole lot yet. Wait, did we get to see shadows as it was coming in there? And these people have shadows there. That guy has a shadow. This kid does not have a shadow. I don't think. I'm pretty sure that's just part of the sidewalk texture. But yeah, no shadows over there. At least the buildings seem to have shadows for some decent distance. But yeah, it doesn't look as visually jarring as the other ones. This hologram and stuff here is pretty cool. But yeah, like already all the different shots that they're showing of the city all just feel kind of the same because it's all city. I guess that's a little bit different, like some of the interiors and stuff. That can be a smidge different here. This is going to be like a main hub, these different facilities or something like that. No, you have a shadow, it looks like. That's not part of the glass ceiling thingamabob, is it? You don't seem to have a shadow, unless it's hidden behind you, but if, like, this shadow's going this way. No, I think that's just part of the line across. I don't think anyone here has a shadow. I know modern Pokemon games are definitely struggle with shadows. You definitely have shadows. Yeah, a bit of a interesting look there. I like the old gym logos and stuff like that. But yeah, looking at these buildings and how, like, across the entire surface is just, like, the same basic look just repeated over and over again, it feels very Detective Pikachu Returns, if that makes sense. How do I put it? The shadows look like they come from Monster Hunter 2. What does Monster Hunter 2 look like? Monster Hunter 2. Is that one of the PlayStation ones? Or PlayStation 2 ones, I wanted to say. Yeah. I was about to say gameplay or something. Just like basic circles and stuff here. Gameplay? No, not stories 2. Gameplay PS2. Ah, my goodness. Just basic circle kind of stuff. I could definitely see that. Maybe a little bit more complex than that. Yeah, the old gym kind of references there. But yeah, let's see here. More mediocre than Detective Pikachu Returns? I don't know. Hold on. Detective Pikachu Returns trailer. What did the buildings look like in that again? Remind me here. I feel like that was probably one of my least favorite playthroughs I ever did. Like, I really dislike Detective Pikachu Returns. Detective Pikachu, the first game, was like, it's fine. But the second game, Returns, I think was actually a terrible game. The buildings might actually look better in Detective Pikachu Returns. Like, look, it's not just the same uniform thing across. I'm gonna turn the tracking back on my camera here as I've, like, shifted here. Get it, like, centered a little bit better. Like, here, it's not just the exact same repeated. Like, here, some of the blinds are closed, some of them are open. Here, like, here's a window, no window, window, window with, like, blinds half closed, window with blinds most of the way closed. And there's, like, different posters and stuff here. There's actually a little bit more variety. Like, the game still looks like... the lack of shadows just completely eliminate the... Well, maybe not completely eliminate the depth, but eliminate a lot of depth, and... Like, Detective Pikachu Returns, like, looks so terrible. Like, the general look of Legend ZA, I would say definitely looks a whole lot better than Detective Pikachu Returns. But I am thinking the buildings look better in Detective Pikachu Returns, is what I'm thinking here. I'm starting to think the buildings look better. Just because, like, the buildings have a little bit more variety. It's not just the same repeated thing. Like, it really goes to show, like, how much a difference of just, like, blinds can make across these windows to make it look like, hey, it's an actual real building and not just, like, a simple repeating Gmod texture, you know? Like, look at this building. But yeah, the general world definitely looks better than Detective Pikachu Returns. But the buildings, maybe not so much. But yeah, Hammerlock is the city with the big dragon. Let's see here. Pokemon Sword and Shield Hammerlock. Why can't I spell sword for the life of me? Yeah, this. And like the different levels and stuff there. Yeah, looking up like that. Man, I can't wait for Pokemon Sword and Shield to become, like, the underrated masterpieces that everyone was too harsh on at the time, just because everything that we've got since then has looked, like, worse in comparison visually. Can't wait for that. Maybe this is just a single building thing. Here, let's look at some more here. No, it's just the exact same thing. Is every single building this? Oh my god. It's just the exact same thing. There's no variety here. There's not even the, where the heck was the thingamabob here that showed, like, big building from a distance? I guess I could go back to that first one again. Any other ones here that show, like, big buildings? That one's a little bit further out. I mean, even just this one here. I don't know what those are, but they're added onto windows in, like, an irregular pattern that makes it look still not amazing. Like, this still looks very basic and, like, something you'd see in, like, a friggin' Gmod thing. But it does look better just having whatever these are. Is these, like, a partial blinds? I mean, pretty shitty blinds if they're not even covering most of the window. If they're just covering, like, a tiny little square area. But just having, like, the irregularity makes it look a lot more natural than just this. The exact same texture across the whole thing. But yeah, let's see here. I want to remember when the first Detective Pikachu was Japanese exclusive content for 2 years? I think I do remember that. Where it was like a 3DS game that took a while before it came to the rest of the world. Pignite Danger Flags Rising. What was there a bit with Pignite there? My concern is, will we be able to walk inside the buildings? That's a good question. Like, some at least. Like, there's this at least. So I'm sure some of them will be able to. Yeah, it was not released everywhere. Look like a toy from a 5-year-old, like little cartoon houses like these. Also was Manectric's fur in this. Yeah, I feel like all the Pokemon just looked really weird in Detective Pikachu Returns. They looked odd. They look way better in this. Like, in terms of the Pokemon looks, I would much more gladly play this over this, especially with, like, Pikachu. Like, it just feels odd. Like, the shading isn't quite right. Like, there is shading and stuff here, but it just... The Pokemon felt very, very odd to me in Detective Pikachu Returns. Like, they felt, like, so bright and unnatural, like someone modded them into, like, some other game. Like, in this, it's like, okay, the Pokemon actually look pretty good. I'm actually kind of liking the look of the Pokemon in this. I mean, there was one good thing with Sword and Shield. At least we had clothes. I mean, I'm sure that there probably will be in this. Like, one concern with Legends Arceus was, like, the lack of customization. It was basically, like, 3 different main kind of sets and then, like, different colors among them. And I think, like, some other niche few things and all stuff around, like, that kind of era. I'm sure that now we'll have, like, you know, more modern game customization stuff. And, I'm sure that you're referring to, like, with clothes to, like, Scarlet and Violet there. Where it's like, yeah, have fun customizing, like, your hat, glasses, and shoes. I guess that's basically it. Oh, Scarlet and Violet. But yeah. The water has reflections. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And yeah, the Manectric there. Definitely, certainly something. The wall of windows. Yeah, it's just that. Windows intensifies. But yeah, the Pokemon in this actually... Wow, oh my god. I'm never going to be able to unsee this when it comes to every building. Look at, like, the shading on this building. This looks good. Like, this looks like if someone had taken, like, a big main building from Scarlet and Violet, like the Academy, and actually put, like, love and care into it. Like, this actually looks nice. This building here. Like... It's just a basic kind of repeating thing. Like, I don't know how if you could have, like, much variation with, like, windows like these anyway. But, like, the insane level of, like, depth and, like, the texture and stuff here actually make this building look good. Like, more of these, please. Like, they at least weren't cheap on hairstyles at Arceus. Oh, man. I might make myself some cold medicine after this stream and then, like, get some more sleep. Is what I might just do. But yeah, Scarlet and Violet couldn't even handle long hair. Yes, Scarlet and Violet did go pretty crazy with long hair, as I found out. Like, if you spin or go back and forth rapidly, the hair goes kind of crazy. Let's hope the windows won't make this system break. I'd be very surprised if they did with how basic the windows are. Oh god, the melodies keep flooding of spaghetti here from memories. Keep flooding of spaghetti here from Scarlet and Violet. The best thing ever. What a weird choice of starters, though. Like, visually, they look so much better than the, Legends Arceus starters on release here. Like, I can just go back here. Or on the first trailer, not on release. Whoops, I'm going back way too much. Like, compared to when the Legends Arceus starters were revealed, and just, like, how bright and unnatural they looked. Like, again, this didn't look like an official Pokemon thing. It looked like a mod. But compare that to here. Like, they're bright and they pop as well, but in, like... a natural fun, like, visually appealing kind of way, as opposed to this where it just looks like someone modded this into Gmod or, like, Minecraft or something like that, and this is the way that it looks. Like, this actually looks visually good for the Pokemon. But again, like, what a weird choice of starters. And if it's gonna be like auras, I assume there's gonna be like new Mega Evolutions. And I guess they didn't do Cyndaquil because Cyndaquil was a starter in like Legends Arceus. But again, like, why have like 2 of the Gen 2 starters and then Tepig, which is like people's least favorite one. Like, I guess they couldn't do Oshawott either because Oshawott was in Legends Arceus here. But, like, Cyndaquil can't have too much representation, I guess. But I presume that means that there's gonna be, like, a Mega Emboar, most likely. And then a Mega Meganium and a Mega Feraligatr. Oh, do you know what the upside of this is? Like, I really, really don't like this set of starters just because, like, none of these starters are ever the ones that I could see myself choosing. Like, the closest one would probably be Chikorita, where in my younger years, like, that's what my Gen 2 option would be for, like, starter, and then later that changed to Cyndaquil. Chikorita's floating a little bit here. The one upside to this is we can choose Totodile, and we can we can have the great return of Floridator from the Colosseum playthrough. And I think that we had a Floridator in Scarlet and Violet at some point as well, right? Or I know it was in some sort of later playthrough where we briefly had a Floridator. We can bring Floridator back. In this playthrough, we should totally play as, like, the male trainer and just pretend that, like, we're Florida Man. And we've got Floridator. Wait, hear me out. Harmonica. Damageless Legends CA run? What? How the heck would I do that? Floridator takes center stage. Oh, we can just, like, Florida Man can Mega Evolve his, his alligator. Oh, that's so what I want to do now. I have the plan in mind. Sometimes we put it to, like, a vote. Sometimes we do, like, polls in the Discord server. Like, that's what we did for Pokemon Conquest across, like, hey, are we gonna play as, like, the dude or the dudette? So anyone watching this on YouTube after the fact, totally join the Discord server and you can participate in polls. But maybe I should just not have this one go to a poll. Just, like, choose the male trainer and, be Florida Man with the alligator. The Sandile's confirmed in this as well, so we can get, like, a Sandile for a Crocorock in the mix and get a couple alligators. Man. Florida Man goes to Paris. That's what the Legends ZA playthrough is gonna be. Was it the X Randomizer? Was it the X Randomizer that we brought back Floridator? It might well have been. Much as I love Gen 2, I'm not a big fan of the Gen 2 starters. That's fair. I'm sure a lot of people aren't really. Reggie Pump redeemed 5,000 channel points for name a Pokemon. Is it fair to, like, do it this far in advance? You can manually dodge attacks in ZA from the look of it, so Dark Souls the Mons and slap them when they're vulnerable. Just like the Legends ZA, throw the bombs or whatever the heck. Damageless in terms of, like, I try to not get hit, but it's fair game for my Pokemon. Florida Man caused an uproar in the Pokemon community. But yeah, never declared official ownership of the name, did I? For Floridator? Are you gonna redeem for Floridator on Totodile there? Just popping in, we got a bingo, right? Sorta. It could have been if we rearranged things here. But yeah, what the fuck, Chikorita? That's the lowest rated starter in popularity rankings. Is it really? Like, that's honestly, like, the most questionable thing with this game is, like, the starter choices. Like, really? But we're going Floridator, heck yeah. That's the one pro here. Oh, don't be over alarmed. I'm claiming back from when you named him in Colosseum. Oh, did you never do that then? Cause yeah, we had Floridator. Let's see here. Can you search up in playlists? Screw it. I'm going to studio here. This is what I'm doing. Let's see here. If I go to Colosseum, I've been making all these VODs thingamabobs. I've been exporting like a metric shit ton of stuff from Twitch. Pokemon Colosseum here. Heck yeah. We had Floridator. Let's cater the gator. Then there's gotta be one with, like, yeah, Fluoridator TM. Oh yeah, we had, like, TM at the end, just for, like, the extra effect. was the case here. Man. At least we get a Fluoridator come back. But yeah, Tepig makes some sense too, but Chikorita. And just the fact that there was, like, 2 of the Gen 2 starters. So across Legends Arceus and, or Arceus, and Legends ZA, or ZA, why do we have, like, all of the Gen 2 starters? Why couldn't this be like, hey, here's one starter from, like, 3 different generations, and this game be like, hey, here's one starter from 3 different generations? What is with, like, all the Gen 2? Like, I don't get it. And having, like, not even the most popular Gen 2 one. The most popular Gen 2 one is in Legends Arceus. Like, I don't get it. Chikorita has a weird design. It looks like a bean. You think so? Hope you can just go full Mon control mode, like, separate from the trainer, like they did with a thing in the Scarlet and Violet DLC? Oh, you mean, like, just general, like, walking around, not in battles? Or you mean, like, in battles to try and dodge attacks? But yeah, they just, like, Gen 2 and want to get rid of it as quickly as possible. Bring us back to the Gen 1 hype. Why couldn't they have Turtwig as the grass? That would have been cool. I would have been down for that. But nope, that's odd. Can we at least get some new generations for selection? Gen 4, Gen 8. I'll take Gen 1. Yeah, fair enough. But nope, just more 5 representation and more 2 representation. Not even another one of the 7 starters. Like, they could have absolutely had, like, Litten in the mix or something like that. Or friggin' the water one that everyone hated at first until they saw what it evolved into. It started with a P. I'm forgetting the name right now. I'm getting old enough now that I'm forgetting the, Pokemon names and stuff. Bulbasaur, Trico, Turtwig, Chespin, all better options. I'll give you one Bulbasaur, Chimchar, and Sobble. Done. Yeah, I'd be down for that. Sobble is the Generation 8 water evolution that evolved into Pond. James Pond. I'm never gonna be able to unsee, like, the never-ending, like, repeating windows and stuff. You know, I already know what starter I'm choosing. I'm choosing Totodile. Yes, let's go eat some food. Go enjoy a nice cafe meal here with Totodile and stuff here. That's Florida, man. But man, the windows here are definitely one of the drawbacks of the graphics so far. Poplio. I liked Poplio before it was cool. Poplio was the cutest base form starter in Sun and Moon. Rowlet seemed like it was trying too hard. I thought Litten was the cutest base form there. Rowlet's just young Sheldon. But yeah, there's not really any shadows on, like, the elements. Like, there's shadows on at least the figures, like the actual interactable entities and stuff like that here when we're close enough. But the objects not having shadows is like, yeah, it still doesn't look great. What are your hopes for gameplay features in this now that you've seen this preview? I hope for, like, variety of areas, if that counts gameplay-wise. Like, that's kind of, like, graphics and gameplay-wise, you could say. I hope for, like, some actual, like, environmental kind of areas. I'm a little bit sketched out by the fact that there are, like, the wild areas to catch Pokemon, but they're just, like, the same urban populated areas. There isn't, like, a city park or anything like that to go explore. Like, I was kind of hoping that there would be. So maybe I'll still be surprised and there'll be something like that. I don't know. Finally fix the follow Pokemon. Hopefully, is that what that looks like there? Where they're actually following at your side instead of, like, bugging the heck out and stuff. That'd be pretty cool. I went back way too much because it's like 20 minutes. It was cute, but it just felt like Tepig too. But it's a cat. I went way too far ahead there. So yeah, we're looking at... Bumblebee's like, oh god, oh shit. I'm about to be caught. But yeah, let's see here. Cats or pigs? Yeah, it's just... The wild areas are just like the areas that are just regular city, but there's more grass growing, and I guess the city's just said, fuck it, the Pokemon can have it. These flowers look alive, so someone's clearly maintaining this, or are there gonna be, like, shops and stuff here still? My nose is irritating the heck out of me. This guy has a shadow. But yeah, so I guess going to be, like, the Legends Arceus kind of style here, which makes sense. Lifts to go up. Oh, it doesn't even lift you up. It just, It just teleports you up. The same basic repeated window texture all the way up. Time for some, like, Assassin's Creed Venice rooftops to play as we jump from rooftop to rooftop. Are we actually gonna platform? I wasn't paying enough attention to that the first time. Oh my god, I'm totally just gonna have, like, AC2 Venice rooftops play while I do this. This is totally something Florida Man would do. But yeah, I do also wonder, like, what the main objective in this game is gonna be. So is this gonna be, like, the main rival? So yeah, I guess the Pokemon does follow you and you can avoid attacks. So the Legends Arceus battle format was different from mainline Pokemon, what with, like, the turn tracker and Agile and Strong Style, I believe, were the two styles. And this one's different in that it's more, like, action-based. So when I was hearing, like, the Dark Souls stuff, I was just thinking that, like, you yourself could dodge. But I guess you and your Pokemon can dodge and stuff. I wasn't paying enough attention to that the first time. That's interesting. So if this is your rival, are we just sticking with, like, the format in Pokemon from, like, this point on where your rival always chooses the one with, like, a type disadvantage against you? Like, we're sticking with that now? Bunny is just like, oh no, the trainers found me, you mean Bunnelby? At least that I know. This map isn't beating my helping that it'll be a world that just feels empty like Scarlet and Violet. That's the concern, and also the concern that it'll feel samey when everything is just like the same city. Like, I've yet to see an area in this trailer that feels like it had like a distinctly different feel. Like, at least with Legends Arceus, you had like the 5 different areas that were all like very different biomes and had like very different feels to them. This all just feels like a city, as opposed to like very different sections of a city with like very different aesthetics and stuff like that. Do you think Bunnelby committed tax evasion? What? When you have like 50 buildings, can only enter 3 of them, why make it a city? I have a genuine question. Is this supposed to be the long past because the entire environment says anything but 3,000 years ago? It's not. A lot of people estimated that it would be like long past, considering like Legends Arceus, but it definitely is not, especially considering like AZ is here with Floette. So it is definitely a sequel to X and Y, because the events of X and Y needed to happen for AZ to be reunited with Floette. Yeah, alright, confirm the rival's using the weaker starter. Yep, it's been type rival disadvantage for 9 years now. Pokemon has gone easy mode. Why did they get rid of the rival using the type advantage? This gives you Scarlet and Violet vibes, and that's not making you optimistic. Yeah, that's fair. Like, at least visually, it does look better. I'm not digging the buildings here, the repeating stuff. In terms of, like, the general, like, Pokemon and, like, trees, environment, character, stuff like that, I'd say this looks better than Scarlet and Violet. I don't know if there was, like, basic repeating windows in Scarlet and Violet. If so, I didn't pay enough attention, I guess. In that sense, I'd say it looks better, but at least Scarlet and Violet would have, like, different environments as you're exploring around the world. Like, you'd have, like, desert biomes, coastal biomes, winter biomes, stuff like that. I'm concerned that this is just gonna feel, like, too samey. So even if in a general sense it looks better graphically and, like, it's more polished, I feel like it's just gonna get old really fast. And stuff. The game doesn't seem to be selling anything new. Blind Stars, awkward timeline, no new forms or megas. I guess the fact that you can dodge, that, like, the combat is a bit more action-based, because, like, you're dodging attacks and stuff. So that's something new that it's selling. Oh, man. I think that's the one new thing that it's selling so far, really. Not really much else. A bracelet so does not fit on your wrist there. Spellings are a bad sign. This is their trailer map to show what they have. Yeah. But I feel like what we're seeing is what we're getting at this point. Yeah, the same just repeated windows here. There's no difference with like any single one of these windows. He's like super old now, well, older and stuff. So yeah, I guess you can go into like some of these buildings and stuff here. But yeah, they seem to have like 10 to 15 buildings that are placed everywhere. Yeah, and that's gonna be what the whole city is. I have to wonder how big the city is. If it makes up the entire game, I would imagine it has to be like pretty big. But if it's like really big and it only has like so many building types that are just repeated over and over, it's gonna get like really old really fast. It works with Howl only in Sun and Moon, coming from an Ultra Sun and Moon defender. But every game after that just got worse for this, the whole like rival choosing the type disadvantage. Probably like 3 of them that you can enter and the rest are just filler buildings, probably. If I had to guess. It's been 3,000 years, it has. Not surprised that Charizard is here, but Blastoise and Venusaur are no show. I can't wait for Charizard to get a new Mega Evolution. Mega Charizard ZZ. Wow, man. But yeah, they really wanted to focus on just Lumio City. Like, I would have been down for just, like, Lumio City as your hub, but you can, like, go around it. And I was kind of hoping for that, where it's, like, some of the wild areas that you can explore into are, like, some of the areas just outside the city. Like, you can go into, like, this forest area just outside the city. You can go into this river area just outside the city over this way. But if literally the entire game is just city and just feels like city, wow, when Zygarde yells, its asshole flashes. Amazing. I'm worried that this is gonna feel, like, really samey. I don't know here. It's probably too soon to say. Like, I know that Legends Arceus didn't, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was just a single-player thing. Blastoise and Venusaur are too busy and Pokemon Unite to join us in Legends. Yeah, I guess so. Here. Can't believe AZ got turned from a hobo to a gentleman. Quite the turnaround. I think that people are still gonna play it because it's Pokemon. Also, like the gameplay loop in Pokemon, and if the story is gonna be well told, then it's gonna be praised either way. When was the last time a Pokemon story was well told? Like, in mainline games? I would argue the last time was Black and White. I think Sun and Moon had some interesting stuff going on, but it didn't quite flesh it out well enough. Yeah, I think I would argue that was probably the last time, was Black and White. Let's see here. But right now, it looks really mediocre to you. Fair enough. Yeah, I'd say, like, visually, and just, like, general polish-wise, it does look more polished than Scarlet and Violet and Legends Arceus did when they were first revealed. Like, those games got revealed, and it's just like, oh my god, these games need so much more time. Like, they are so half-baked. Like, this clearly looks like it could use some more time as well, just with, like, the, you know, basic repeating window textures and stuff like that make everything look bland. Still kind of a lack of optimization with, like, the shadows and stuff like that, making it look not super great, the lack of shadows. But it doesn't look like as absolutely terrible as those games. It looks like something that is actually playable just with, like, minor annoyances, as opposed to, like, Legends Arceus Scarlet and Violet, where, like, the graphical issues are, like, constantly in your face. Like, I feel like there's definitely gonna be things that I'll be annoyed about this graphically, but not, like, so much so that it, like, completely interrupts, like, the play experience at every twist and turn, like Legends Arceus and Scarlet and Violet. Like, this is definitely a lot more baked. I feel like the concerns of this game are gonna be more from, like, a design perspective rather than it needing, like, more time in the oven. Like, I am concerned about, this is just, like, one city that you're exploring. Like, I feel like it's gonna get, like, pretty old pretty fast. It's just gonna feel, like, the same across the entire thing. And what is going to, like, keep the gameplay loop fresh and fun? Or is it just gonna be, like, going around a city, exploring, catching new Pokemon, and doing battles, getting stronger, and exploring more of the same over and over and over again? Like, what justifies its existence? Like, this is something that I've talked about recently when it comes to games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla that I've been playing on the channel as I've been going through all the Assassin's Creed games in order. And Assassin's Creed Valhalla is just kind of a world of missions. The goal is you're newcomers in England, so go, like, make friends, make allies across the region. And so the story is just all these little sub-stories. It feels almost like disconnected episodes of, like, a TV series, where each one is just, like, its own little sub-story of how you made a friend in this region. And that is never going to be brought up, like, ever again. And you start on, like, the next one that has nothing to do with the last one that you just did, where you do, like, a plotline start to finish of making another friend. And it just makes me ask, like, what's the point? Like, if I wasn't a content creator, there's no way I'd be continuing to play Assassin's Creed Valhalla, because it just feels like a world of missions and, like, mini storylines, and not any, like, grand overarching thing that I'm working towards, because the grand overarching thing I'm working towards is just make friends with no clear end goal. Like, I don't know what the end goal is until I've made, like, a friend in every single region or something like that, and then, like, game win, I did it, yay. Like, it just feels like a world of missions, and not really much more. And that's been the case with, like, a lot of modern Ubisoft games, like friggin' Watch Dogs Legion is another semi-recent example. It's just like a world of missions is kind of what it feels like. and it just starts to feel like really, really samey, and the gameplay loop gets really tiresome really fast. Because even though, like, AC Valhalla had some gameplay improvements with, like, the combat over AC Odyssey, in my opinion, that made it a little bit more engaging, when you don't have, like, any overarching reason to keep me going, like, any clear end goal that I'm working towards, and, like, everything just feels, like, really samey, like, go make a friend in this region, go make a friend in this region, go make a friend in this region, it just makes you feel like, what's the point? Like, why am I continuing to play? What justifies my reason to continue playing? That's what I'm worried about will potentially be the case with this game. If it really is just a city, and not, like, any other real different areas to, like, unlock or explore, and who knows what the story of this game is gonna be. Maybe it'll have, like, an intriguing story that keeps me hooked. Like, who can say at this point? But in terms of, like, raw visuals and variety of area and what you're doing, I'm really worried that the gameplay loop is gonna get a lot staler a lot quicker than in a lot of the other Pokemon games. Like, that was a complaint that I had when it came to Pokemon Coliseum as well. There's a lot of things I liked about Pokemon Coliseum, like I really liked the double battles and how that, like, really added a lot more to the mix in terms of, like, your strategies. Like, man, doubles, there's so much more when it comes to singles, like, keeps you engaged so much more, I find. But when the entire game is just battle, 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 here's a little cutscene, battle, 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 over and over and over again, and it's not having, like, other elements like little side activities or wild Pokemon that you can go and check out and stuff like that. I did find myself getting a little bit tired of Coliseum at points, and, like, really start to feel it drag on. I do hear that XD Gale of Darkness is a bit better in that regard, but that was a case of a Pokemon game that just had, like, the same basic formula repeated so much that I started to get tired of it. Is that going to be the case with this game, where it's just, like, go around, battle, catch Pokemon, go battle, catch Pokemon, battle, catch Pokemon, without any of, like, the sense of discovery of things like the other Pokemon games, where it's like you're discovering, like, completely new biomes and new cities that have, like, different aesthetics, and here's, like, new mini games that you can do, like this side activity that you can do in this place, like Diamond, Pearl, Platinum contests, here's this side activity you can engage in, or Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Pokeathlon, and stuff like that, which is actually a really cool side activity, like new stuff for you to be unlocking as you go around. Is it just gonna be more of the city that feels the exact same, and you can find new Pokemon and battle different people, and, like, they haven't really shown anything in the trailers yet that has convinced me that there's going to be enough stuff going on here that's going to be able to keep it fresh. So I feel like Scarlet and Violet was very flawed to its core, because they applied, like, a linear formula into an open world format and then just got to, like, sell their game as open world, because everyone seemingly loves open world games nowadays, and open world is such a pro. And, like, I feel like a lot of people are starting to think, like, maybe open world games aren't all they're cracked up to be, but, you know, some people still think open world good, linear bad, for whatever reason. And I think that it was flawed design-wise. Legends Arceus, I think, was generally good in terms of, like, its general idea and premise of, like, a gameplay loop. Oh, forgive my random puberty there with a voice crack. But just wasn't, like, fleshed out in its design to, like, truly be able to, like, embrace that. Like, just as one example, the fact that you can't, like, throw a Pokeball from Wordeer. You can on Baskia Legion, just because you don't have any option to otherwise on the water, but you can't on Pokemon like Wordeer. So, if you see a Pokemon you want to throw a Pokeball at, or you want to throw one of your Pokemon to go harvest a resource, you gotta hop off Wordeer, throw the Pokeball, hop back on Wordeer. Oh look, there's another ore. Hop off Wordeer, throw a Pokeball, hop back on Wordeer. Like, just little things like that that just kind of make the basic gameplay loop a little bit more frustrating than it needs to be. Where if it was a bit more fleshed out, it would be, like, a much better kind of gameplay loop. Like, there's a lot of little things like that in it, where it's like the core idea is good, but it's just, like, not well fleshed out. I'm worried that this might be a Scarlet and Violet situation, but in this case, it's like, it's more fleshed out. Like, it seems like it's, the impression I'm getting so far is that it's probably going to be, like, higher quality, more fleshed out than Scarlet and Violet or Legends Arceus was, in terms of just raw quality. But I'm worried that, like, the general gameplay loop and the formula that they put in here is going to be the thing that gets stale. So, you know, I don't know what to compare it to here. Legends Arceus, I'd say, was, like, good formula, poorly designed. Scarlet and Violet, I'd say, was bad formula, badly designed. I'm worried that this is gonna be, like, well-designed, relatively, compared to the other ones, but poor formula. That's what I'm worried about at the moment. That's my biggest concern. I missed a whole bunch of stuff lately here. I find it cool if there's a bunch of side quests that just add to the world building of this. Maybe they'll have that. Maybe. As long as they're not, like, bloat side quests of just, like, do a whole bunch of random shit, like filling up the Pokedex was in Legends Arceus. Maybe they'll have something like that. Just like, defeat this Pokemon with an electric attack 20 times. Like, just generic kind of filler stuff. Have they actually had, like, proper world-building side quests? Like, the side quests in Final Fantasy 16, for example, where they are side quests, but they, like, truly contribute to, like, your understanding of, like, the characters in the world, like, the different main characters, and, like, some of the culture, some of the notions that people have about the world and others and stuff like that. That's something that I really appreciate about the side quests of Final Fantasy 16, is it felt like it truly deepened your understanding of the world and the people in it. If this game had something like that, that'd be really cool, where it really contributed. This feels like a Scarlet and Violet situation. This is supposed to be a launch title to get people to buy Switch 2, but it's not selling me. Do you think it's supposed to be a launch title to get people to buy a Switch 2? I mean, they did say that it's releasing late 2025. And the Switch 2, is it, like, they said that they were going to announce it in, like, the fiscal year, last year, and it has now been announced, and presumably coming out sometime this year. I don't know if they've officially announced that it's for sure coming out in 2025. Did they? Hold on. Gosh dang it. Did they say 2025 at the end of the Switch 2 trailer? April 2nd is the Direct. I know they're doing, like, the showcase thing about there. Is it a full-on Direct? Yeah, 2025. Okay. Yeah, Nintendo Direct for Nintendo Switch 2. Okay, yeah. I gotcha. 2nd of April being the Direct for that. So, if this is releasing late 2025, then most likely it is going to be a Switch 2 launch title. But I'm sure that this is going to be, like, a Switch 1 and Switch 2 game. Or, I don't even know. I know that the Switch 2 is back compatible, so would there even be, like, a Switch 2 version of it that you could buy, kind of like Breath of the Wild, that is just, like, better designed for the Switch 2, or something like that? Or are they just gonna release, like, Nintendo Switch, Legends ZA for you to be able to play on both? Because when the 3DS came out, for example, Pokemon Conquest and Pokemon Black 2, White 2 just released for the Nintendo DS, and they just had little blurbs on the back here, which I can show, where it's like, wah, also playable on Nintendo 3DS, if you can see the little red bubble there, just because, like, the 3DS was already out, and people are probably wondering, like, oh, I have a 3DS, but not a DS, can I still play this game? So they had, like, the little blurb of, like, by the way, yeah, you can still play this on, like, the Nintendo 3DS, it's also playable on that. Like, this, it makes a lot more sense to still be, you know, a Nintendo DS game when that's what it was designed for, and not be, like, designing, like, a 3DS version or releasing, like, a separate 3DS version when, like, the graphics would be so different. The Switch and Switch 2 is just like, hey, it's the same general idea, it's just, like, the power is a little bit stronger. I mean, guess you can make some of those arguments about, like, the DS and 3DS, but, like, less of an upgrade across, like, Switch and Switch, I don't know what the heck here. The point that I'm trying to make here is, would they be able to make, like, a version that is substantially differently optimized for the Switch 2 that warrants a separate release on the Switch 2 as opposed to the Switch? Like, of course with Breath of the Wild they would have to do that because, like, discs and cartridges and things like how the Wii U gamepad works and stuff like that. But would there be enough difference in how this would run on the Switch and Switch 2 to warrant a separate release on the Switch 2? Or would they just release it on, like, the Switch itself, and then it's like, hey, you can play it on the Switch 2 as well? I feel like it's probably going to be the latter, where they just release it as a Switch game, and it's like, hey, by the way, also playable on Switch 2. Because I would have a hard time seeing this on the shelf as, like, a Switch 1 game and a Switch 2 game, where it's like, the Switch 2 version is, like, way more optimized. I feel like they would just release it as a Switch title, where it's like, it probably runs better on the Switch 2, just considering, like, more powerful hardware. But I would have a very hard time seeing them releasing a separate Switch 2 title that just is, like, on the cartridge itself is, like, so much more optimizations and stuff like that. So, I might kind of expect to see this. What it was so. Whoa, was my 3D printing filament back there just snapped. Jump scared me a little bit. So I think that this is probably just going to be like a Switch 1 game, but if it's releasing late 2025, maybe it'll be around the same time as the Switch 2. Maybe they'll try to sell like Switch 2 units through getting people's interest who didn't already have a Switch 1. Hey, look at the official art for AZ. Did they post it here? Let's see here. Good old X.com. Oh, that's pretty cool. Pokemon official artwork always goes like so hard. Official artwork for AZ and Legends ZA. That's pretty cool. Look how tall he is. It's like me when I'm sitting in a low-down chair. But yeah, let's see here. Was that the snap of 87? It sure was. I've been running into issues with my 3D printer lately. I've been 3D printing a whole bunch of stuff because I'm going to like a gardening event next month and selling a bunch of pots and things. I'm struggling with printing big things because like my print bed is a little uneven. I can print small things across like the center. Want to see some cool Pokemon plants that I've been printing lately? Look at these. These are little pots. So you can put a plant in there. It's just start like a little seed or something like that. I've got some Pikachu ones. I've got some Charmander ones. And these are little plant pots and stuff. So I can print things like that. I'm just struggling with printing big things right now. And I just dropped Pokemon Conquest in the trash can again. No, I dropped all the... This 3D filament all over my trash can. I dropped all my things, like my Club Nintendo redeem code from Conquest. Get out of here, 3D filament. I gotta stop bonking it. In fact, let's just toss it in the back couch there so I stop doing that. But yeah, let's see here. Guessing that... Oh, I'm gonna have to, like, scroll up here a little bit now. Guessing that it'll probably only be Switch 2 because they can't be bothered to optimize it for the original Switch. I mean, looking at this game looks very visually kind of like Scarlet and Violet did. Scarlet and Violet with a little bit more time in the oven is, like, the impression that I get from the graphics of this, so... I would imagine that's probably on original Switch 1, but yeah, knowing Game Freak, I definitely wouldn't be surprised here. But the fact that they decided to have the direct the day after April Fool's is such a funny thing to me. I have to wonder, did it align so? Or did they intentionally mean for the direct to be harder to leak? With April Fool's there? What day is April 2nd? It's a Wednesday. I'm surprised they didn't go for Thursday, because they do a lot of things on Thursdays. But I guess middle of the week and like Fridays through the weekends are typically the best times to be posting like new content, apparently. From what I've heard in the social media sphere. The Wii lived till 2020, and the Wii U was essentially a flop, so I'm sure we'll get a few games on Switch 1 after the second comes out. Yeah, I have no doubt that we will. And I'm sure games that feel like they don't need, like, the hardware of the Switch 2 in order to do what they need to do, they'll still release on the Switch anyway, because those that have a Switch 2 can still buy their game and play it on the Switch 2. So I'm sure, like, there'll be plenty of indie games especially that keep on coming out on the Switch, because why not? What reason would they have not to? If it's available on Switch 2 as well anyway, are just like smaller kind of games that aren't like super massive like AAA monstrosities. Let's see here. PS4 still gets games after over 4 years, so believe the Switch will be a similar thing, probably. Feel like they're doing Switch 2 only because they have trouble optimizing their games and it saves them a hassle if they can release on a stronger console. So I think that's just going to be a Switch 2 thing rather than a Switch 1 thing. Hello, DS Shock Trooper. Yo, guess what you did? War crimes. I have not seen the website for Legends ZA. Do they have an official website now? Not always, but 90% of the time, sometimes it's badly traced. Wait, what now? Look at the official website for Legends ZA. Yeah, alright, I'll have a look-see here. Hey, if you're gonna drop a Pokemon game in the trash can, do it with Brilliant Diamond, not Conquest. Yeah, it's somewhere on my shelf over there. I can pull it out and drop it in the trash. Stop giving Game Freak the messages that Conquest is trash. Here's the official website, by the way. Let's see here. Reduced motion. Pokemon Legends ZA releases in late 2025, or ZA. Visit Lumio City. Oh, maybe they are gonna have some slightly different feels. Like, look at this. This one's like super green. This one like has a bunch of plants and stuff. This one's blue and has more water. This one's red and is just normal city, I guess. Okay, so they're like thirds, except the blue one is smaller than the others, if I'm not going crazy. So it's like you have this much section of the green part. you have this much section of regular city, and you have this tinier triangle of, there's more water stuff going on. So I guess there are different biomes across 3 of regular city with like more green on it, and regular city with like more water features. And no outsides of the city is I guess what's going on here. The story is set in Lumiose City, where an urban redevelopment plan is underway to shape the city into a place that belongs to both people and Pokemon. Compared to Lumiose City as it appeared in the Pokemon X and Y games released in 2013, more greenery now adorns the city alongside facilities with cutting-edge feel. And like I mentioned earlier in the stream, already did a playthrough of Pokemon X and Y, so if anyone watching this on YouTube after the fact wants to check out that to get like all caught up on the story of Generation 6 Pokemon here before ZA comes out and presumably continues it and like establishes Zygarde a bit more properly, you can find that probably in the description. I'll probably put it in the description there. Beat the super boss in Metaphor with a level 70 team. The boss was level 99. Nice. I've not even seen any gameplay before of Metaphor ReFantasio, so I don't really know anything about it. I know a little bit about the music. I've listened to some of that. We're banning Tepig. The buildings will have different colors. How unique. Well, I presume that there's like more stuff going on where it's just like more plants here in general and more water features here in general as I see. But yeah, still it doesn't seem like it's going to feel all that different. Is this literally just the teal mask map? What, in terms of just being like a big circle with like a center point in the middle there? You could also argue that about like Scarlet and Violet main thing. A circle doesn't mean it's teal mask again. Map feels like a child-friendly cyberpunk future. Literal concrete worlds. Don't think your streams of that game are a good way to summarize this story, especially with a one member of the Elite Four. During the parts that actually mattered to the story, I did turn off the randomizer, so that we could actually take in, like, the important story parts, which are just, like, a few, like, key cutscenes, I felt like. Yeah, the textures and stuff here definitely look better than, like, the past couple of games. It sure looks like. And these screenshots definitely make it look good, apart from just, like, repeating windows forever. I've seen many people on X, oh god, don't call it X, saying ZA looks like a Pow World ripoff. Nice. The story begins with a sightseeing trip to Lumiose City. While visiting Lumiose City during your travels as a Florida man, you'll come and stay in an old hotel named Hotel Z. Man, Elon Musk would totally love this if only it was called X. This hotel will serve as your base, as you and the friends you'll meet in Lumiose tackle all sorts of incidents that will occur in the city. This is just gonna be the freaking Looker episode. What the heck were they called? The Looker episode of X and Y. I don't remember what it was called. I'm just calling it the Looker episode. Wild zones, habitats for wild Pokemon. As part of Lumiose's urban redevelopment plan, driven by a large corporation called Quasartico Inc., the city has been outfitted with wild zones in an effort to help humans and Pokemon share the city. So what happened to, like, someone that was living back here before? Because these are just, like, regular urban areas that have just been designated for, like, the Pokemon to have. Are you just, like, evicted? Like, what the hell happens? These areas are constructed using cutting-edge technology to give Pokemon places to live. Within wild zones, you can battle Pokemon and catch them by throwing Pokeballs. Do you realize what a shit idea this is? Not Quesadilla Inc. Yeah, that's right. Like, do you realize what a terrible idea this is? How much that, like, completely screws with, like, the established infrastructure? You're kicking out people and businesses when you could just have the wild zones be, I don't know, outside the city, like, out where these images are. And then you can have people and Pokemon, like, kind of existing together in the sense of, like, just walk outside the city and there's a bunch of wild Pokemon. Also, it's not existing together if you are segregating zones. Like, there's definitely some historical parallels that one can draw here about, am I getting a phone call? Let's see here. I'm getting texts from my dad about an auto gallery closing that happened like August last year that I already knew about. That's the case here. Hello, Anima. A wild Anima appears. How's it going here? Like, this is a segregation, like, do I really want to be saying this? Let's get Twitch TOS or something like that. This is like historical states having like black or white only washrooms or water fountains, stuff like that. Like, sure, you could argue that it's coexisting technically, but you're not really coexisting if you're segregating like specific zones. So not only is it like a shit idea in terms of like you're evicting people and businesses out presumably and just wasting natural infrastructure, which is also going to provide like a really shit place for Pokemon to have like a natural environment, you would think. Like if you're imagine like Paris like as like an actual city here. It's just like, yep, these parts of the city are now going to be for like bears and deer and stuff like that we're just going to like let live here. Like it's just no. Like in some of my game design classes we talked about things like economies and world building and stuff, like how when you design these you should try to make it feel kind of realistic and think about how it would naturally work. Like in what way does this make sense and what way does this exist autonomously without like the player being there, stuff like that. But this is just, hey, we need to have the game all take place in Lumio City, so this is the excuse that we've come up with, where these areas are just the areas that the Pokemon can have now. Even if it doesn't make any sense to like how they'd be able to like exist naturally, like this would be so different from the natural environment and completely screw them up. And make the argument that this is people on Pokemon coexisting in the city, where it's like, I mean, sort of not really, you know? So I'm not big on it. I would have much preferred, like, hey, you have, like, the city as your hub with a bunch of stuff going on, but, like, just outside the city is where you can find, like, more natural areas, as opposed to just, like, hey, here's specifically marked sections of the city where Pokemon are allowed to live, and you can just, like, go and catch them and stuff, I guess. Like, I don't think I like that feel. I think the implication is that there is no outside the city. This is the Lorax-style fake environment. This is what we're gonna do now, so that people can actually, like, experience going out and catching wild Pokemon. You don't leave the city. Oh, man, my nose is running so much, and it's starting to feel, like, so dang dry. Also, how's the Power World video essay going so far? Are you gonna make a dedicated chapter for the 69 Pal Lavander? Oh, you bet. Currently watching the direct. Nice. They need to elect a new mayor of that city. They really do. Let's elect AZ. What if we fight Carsotico? I would imagine that we probably do. I wouldn't be surprised. Gotta go pick up a package. BRB, if not, enjoy your stream. Okie doke, take care there, Reggie Bump. My gang, no, the same text as earlier that my phone is notifying me about again. You know how you had a nice koi pond in your yard? Yeah, that's for the Magikarp. Now you need to leave. Get out of here. Man. You know, the Power World devs is gonna give the team the day off to play Monster Hunter Wilds based. Is that what they're actually doing? Bunnelby is the only Pokemon I see there that I can buy would live in a city. Well, Fletchinder I could imagine as well, just because, like, can fly around and make nests wherever. I swear, the YouTube shuffle thing does not actually shuffle. We have definitely heard this earlier. This is a playlist of 1,533 videos. Let's click on a different one. And then, or did we hear this one earlier as well? Or at least a version of Route 209. Here, this Wind Waker remix by Yim Dashi. Reset, like, the shuffling seed. I hate YouTube Shuffle so much, it just doesn't work. Saw on Twitter people talking about it, nice. What if the evil guys in this game have made the Pokemon live in the city against their will, with next to no signs of that beforehand? I mean, that was kind of what was going on with, like, the Indigo disc of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Just never talking about how it's actually kind of evil. Where it's like, we're in this underwater dome, and we've recreated these environments, and, like, brought wild Pokemon here. So, essentially, wild Pokemon have been brought to this underwater dome. It's underwater, so there's literally no way they can escape. They are stuck in this dome for, like, the rest of their lives that they've been unwittingly brought to. And they're just, like, stuck in this place until they're eventually hunted for sport as part of children's classes. Is essentially what the Indigo disc is, if you actually think about it. I guess that's just what's going on here with Lumio City now. YouTube Shuffle sucks. What? Was I muted? It's just, I didn't mute it in OBS, and I didn't mute it on here, but it just briefly wasn't picking me up. I think that's the second time this has happened. Maybe my microphone's getting old or something here. Like, it says that's picking it up now. But I didn't misclick, like, my muting hotkey or the mute button on here. That's odd. I don't know. But yeah, maybe N did have a point after all. Touched it and then it muted. Make Pokemon your ally. You can catch wild Pokemon in living in wild zones or out and about in Lumio City by aiming a Pokeball at them and letting it fly. When the Pokemon doesn't pop back out of the ball, you've successfully caught it. Some Pokemon will flee immediately if they spot you, so hide out of sight or approach from behind to make yourself harder to notice. You can also battle Pokemon to lower the HP, making them easier to catch. Well, if some Pokemon are gonna flee immediately if they spot someone, then why the hell are they living in a city? Like, I mean, I know you can make that argument about, like, creatures that do live in the city in, like, the real world and stuff like that. Like, getting too close to, like, a squirrel or a bird, like a magpie or something like that. So I guess it's not that out of the ordinary. But, like, I think there might be some better places to live. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out my ass here, because I guess that is technically still realistic in terms of, like, wildlife that do live in cities in real life. But, you know, these critters that clearly wouldn't live in the city in real life, I don't know. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how many Pokemon there are. A Pokemon series first. Pokemon and trainers take action in real time during battle. Yeah, this is like the one new thing that they've shown essentially. So it looks like the moves are going to be assigned to face buttons. This reminds me of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is what this reminds me of with like the different arts and stuff. So I guess being a real-time system, your arts, your moves will recharge, and then you can hit, like, the face buttons to, like, use the different things, and you can, like, move out of the way and dodge attacks and stuff like that. I wonder if there was, like, any Xenoblade Chronicles 2 inspiration drawn from this. Casual Sandals in cities, because crocodiles just chill in cities, yep. I can't wait to have, like, 2 crocs in my, in my party. I'd just be the ultimate Florida man. In previous titles in Pokemon video game series, Pokemon took 1 action per turn, and Pokemon Legends ZA trainers and their Pokemon will move around in real time during battles, and Pokemon will unleash their moves when their trainers command them to. In addition to type matchups, there will be new gameplay mechanics to consider, such as the precise timing for swapping out your Pokemon or using moves. It is Xenoblade Chronicles 2. The different lengths of time moves will take to launch, and how big an area the moves will impact. This unprecedented style of Pokemon battling is one of the most thrilling parts of this title. So, question is, like, why play this over Xenoblade Chronicles 2? This is gonna be the question here. Oh my god. Pokemon and trainers, your character, Florida man here. I'm gonna have to find, like, the most Florida fitting outfit here. Jesus Christ, that's a Hippowdon in that picture. You'd be calling animal control if you saw something like that in a city. After arriving at Lumiose for some sightseeing, you'll make new friends and tackle all sorts of incidents in the city. My god, I can't words today. I suppose that'll make, like, sense then if you're not, like, a native born in Lumiose for us to be Florida man and stuff. And it took me a moment to realize that was a collarbone and not, like, tits halfway out. I'm playing as a dude this time, I think. Introducing the first partner Pokemon. After arriving at Lumiose, certain events will lead you to befriending a Pokemon that will become your adventuring partner, thus beginning your journey as a Pokemon trainer. My brain just autofilled adventure for some reason. Which Pokemon will you set off on your adventure with? Chikorita, Tepig, or Totodile? You really didn't give all that great of choices this time, but I'm going with Totodile. I'll say one thing, there are some things I completely hate about Xeno 2. Yeah, here's the introduction to them all. Wow. The leaf on its head has a variety of uses. Chikorita can use the large leaf on its head to determine the temperature and humidity of its surroundings. It will also use this leaf to seek out warm places since it loves sunbathing. Lightening the mood, even when the mood is hostile. Chikorita has a gentle personality. While at first it may wave its leaf around fiercely to keep its opponent at bay, a sweet fragrance wafts from the leaf, which will calm both battling Pokemon and create a cozy, friendly atmosphere in the end. It's definitely not going to calm battling Pokemon. Totodile's the only good option there, and it's like B tier. But the Florida, man. I do like they're bringing Legends into this. Legends into this. Hawa? Just being like with the IP of like the Legends series. A ravenous glutton, Tepig uses its excellent sense of smell to find food. It loves to roast and eat berries, but sometimes it gets too excited and burns them to a crisp, rendering them inedible. Springing around while launching fireballs, Tepig is nimbler than it looks. It uses its speed to confound enemies, dodging their attacks with agility and rapidly launching fireballs from both nostrils. Speaking of nostrils here, mine are killing me here. When it catches a cold, its fire becomes pitch black smoke instead. A rowdy Pokemon that bites everything. Oh, it's gonna be perfect with Florida Man. Totodile is small, but it has a rough and tough personality. It won't hesitate to take a bite of anything that moves within its sight. Its powerful, well-developed jaws are capable of crushing anything. Even its trainer must watch out. This gotta be perfect for Florida Man here. Because Totodile will bite indiscriminately, even its trainer must be careful. While Totodile may think it's playfully nibbling, its bite has enough power to cause serious injury. Make sure not to inadvertently turn your back to it. This is gonna be perfect for Florida Man. They give you the option of the least picked star from Gen 2, the least picked star from Gen 5, and another star from Gen 2. Probably the second least picked star from Gen 2, because I think the most popular Gen 2 star would be Cyndaquil. You know, when you battle, then have the Pokemon get clipped into a rick or something, and then break the game because you can't retrieve it back. Is that supposed to say rock, I imagine here? Worried about the Mons gonna get glitching. A battle and have a Pokemon clipping into a rock or something, and then break the game because you can't retrieve it back. Oh, with the legend style. I'm sure when you walk far enough away, they'll just like auto come back into the Pokeball or something like that. But I do remember like Pokemon getting stuck in walls several times in my Scarlet and Violet playthrough, only one of which I was able to actually catch, being a Flamigo, who we named Dwayne for Dwayne the Rock and stuff there. But there were several Pokemon that were stuck in walls because they'd spawn like on the ground that existed outside the wall in Scarlet and Violet. Apparently that was a pretty regular occurrence, and some people even encountered, like, shinies that were in walls. Never happened to me, as far as I could tell. Like, maybe it happened and I never noticed. But I've seen clips online of people encountering, like, shiny Pokemon in walls, and it's the funniest thing. Don't load a clip into Rick. Murder is bad. Like how some blades aren't equal to a character's gender. Like, why can't boys heal with beast rings or bitball? Why can't girls block with shield hammers? Why does punching fist weapons even exist? There also is just, like, very big inequality in Xenoblade 2 when it comes to like male and female blades. Like male blades make up such a minority in the general mix. Meet people and Pokemon in Lumio City. Urbane/Tawny. You'll make a friend who lives and works at Hotel Z, supporting the owner however they can. They may come on strong at times, but they like helping people and Pokemon. They're quite skilled at Pokemon battles too. The appearance you choose at the beginning of the game will determine whether Urbane or Tawny will appear. Oh, that's kind of cool. Like, is it just, like, the opposite, or is it the same? Hold on. I can find out here. In the thingamabob here. So, which trainer is this? So, that's the male guy, and that's the female trainer, I think? So, it's, like, opposites? In that case? So I guess it's like the opposite of whatever you choose. And they look like safe Disney characters. But yeah, I was like, oh, when I saw the giant and the Floette, the giant. But yeah. But yeah, whoever named those rivals should get fired. Well, there be that. Isn't there supposed to be Nintendo Direct soon? April 2nd for the Switch 2. So maybe there will be a little bit of gameplay shown for Legends CA there. So yeah, we shall see here. Literally call rivals urban in town. Come on. Nah, I definitely don't see it. Yeah. I also see that we've got like the stereotypical, the male character's fully clothed, the female character's got like almost the complete leg showing and like the waist break there, whatever the heck it's called. Let's start with the basics. A Pokemon trainer is someone who battles with Pokemon. Seriously, I'm so relieved I could almost cry. AZ is a man who stands over 9 feet tall. He's the owner of Hotel Z and claims to be 3,000 years old. He quietly harbors a strong determination and will. I am AZ, and as the owner of Hotel Z, I welcome you. Eternal Flower Floette. This unusual Floette looks different from other members of her species and holds a black flower. She's also said to have lived for 3,000 years. She also accompanies AZ. No idea why they chose a name like Tawny. Because that's what Pokemon does there. Jet is the CEO of Quesadilla Inc., a large corporation driving Lumiosa's urban redevelopment plan with the aim of shaping the city into one that belongs to both people and Pokemon. It seems she hopes to deepen the bonds between people and Pokemon. There have been villains that have wanted to do that before. Vinny is a large man who wears sunglasses. He works at Quesadilla as Jet's secretary. He always seems busy and has a reputation for being a fast worker. Interesting. Hat looks like a turd, I'm sorry. This? Or one of the ones up... No, there wasn't one up there. Going to be real, I would beat up a kid named Tawny in middle school. The CEO. Hat? Does it just mean her hair? The legendary Pokemon Zygarde. Zygarde is made up of a multitude of cell-like components. You mean cells? And it changes form depending on how many of these components have gathered together. Its brain is made up of the few existing Zygarde cores, while the rest of its body is composed of Zygarde cells, which are far more plentiful. It seems to have taken a special interest in you. What could its connection to this story be? But yeah, that's her hair. Okay, the naming department needs to be fired immediately. Let's see here, 10% form. This is Zygarde's form when about 10% of its cells have gathered. It has sharp fangs and runs across the land at speeds greater than 60 miles per hour, whatever that is in kilometers. I don't speak in freedom units. Actually, because of my truck, I have been getting like a better understanding of like the conversion rate. My truck's maximum speed is 50 miles per hour, which I know is like 80 kilometers per hour, because I would want to translate that into kilometers, because like the speedometer on my truck is in miles, because that was before Canada switched away from freedom units to units that actually make sense. So my speedometer is in miles, though it hasn't worked in a long time. But I got a new speedometer cable, so I hope to have my speedometer working again this year, and I'm just gonna have to like memorize the conversion rate roughly. In the past year, I've just been using like a speedometer app on my phone and like mounting my phone to my dash. When Zygarde needs to fight, its cores call for the cells scattered across the land to gather, and then Zygarde transforms into this form. 50% form. Yeah, all the order Pokemon, Dragon Ground. This is Zygarde's form when about half its cells have gathered. It serves as the protector of the ecosystems that Pokemon live in. Well, then Zygarde's gonna be hella pissed off about what's going on in Lumiose, monitoring them to detect any abnormalities. It can change into an even more powerful form when battling those who threaten these ecosystems. Yeah, it's crazy that, like, the lore of Zygarde was never really all that established, because there was never, like, a Legend Z before this point. But it seemed like Xerneas was the Pokemon of life, Yveltal the Pokemon of death, and then, like, Zygarde the Pokemon of balance, where it's like, when the world is thrown out of balance, it arrives to, like, set things to rights and stuff. So, yeah, Zygarde, I think, would be hella pissed off about Lumiose City. Do you think that Zygarde would have been, like, pissed off at Lumiose before, but now that there's, like, all these efforts to, like, bring people and Pokemon together, Zygarde's gonna be like, hell yeah, look at that, things are, like, super harmonious now. Imagine. Yeah, I wonder what approach they are gonna take for, like, Zygarde liking or disliking Lumiose City here. Complete form. This is Zygarde's form when it's at 100%. It uses its overwhelming power to suppress those who endanger the ecosystem. From the orifice on its chest, it radiates high-powered energy that can eliminate everything. Its four wings and its tail can freely change shape to play a variety of roles. And you've got, like, the blue and the red, like, X and Y there. And this was something that you could get in Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon, just as, like, a side thing of, oh, by the way, that's a thing that you can get, considering there was never a Pokemon Z version where this would have originally been established, and then we never really understood, like, the significance of, like, the blue and the red and stuff like that. Your thoughts on that mobile Pokemon Stadium game? We don't know enough about it yet. If it's a, I was mentioning it earlier in the stream, if it is, like, a stand-in for Pokemon Showdown, then great, but if it is, like, a heavily dumbed-down version, then people are still just gonna come to Pokemon Showdown. That is gonna be the case. Power of Mega Evolution. At Lumiose City, you'll sometimes see Pokemon undergo Mega Evolution, a kind of evolution that transcends standard evolution. Effectively using Mega Evolution will likely be your key to victory in Pokemon battles. Mega Evolution can turn the tide of battle, but what is it? Mega Evolution goes beyond the limit of regular evolution. Only certain Pokemon can Mega Evolve. Doing so imparts power greater than regular evolution by temporarily unleashing the energy hidden within the Pokemon. Pokemon change their appearance when they Mega Evolve, and certain Pokemon may even change types. But yeah, mobile port of Sword Shield battles to you. Nothing will top Pokemon Battle Revolution. And give the naming department a benefit of the doubt if they wrote names, put it in a hat and chose and be like, welp, that's the name, boys. When trainers have a strong bond with their Pokemon, a keystone worn by the trainer resonates with a Megastone held by their Pokemon, allowing Mega Evolution to take place. Eventually, wear a Mega Ring with a keystone embedded in it. Other trainers wear their keystones in different ways. Wow. Can't wait to Mega Evolve my Floridator. Mega Evolve Pokemon. Here are more examples of Mega Evolve Pokemon. Releasing simultaneously worldwide in 2025. Sign up for the newsletter. No thanks. Kappa Safe Harbor. Oh my goodness, my nose is killing me here. But yeah, it's certainly something here. Shop, what do they have in the shop? Oh, it just directs you to the Pokemon Center, I gotcha. I gotcha. Pause the stream and blow. I don't have, like, a backed up nose. It's just, like, running and stuff. And just, like, you know, being really dry and stuff. Out of curiosity, will you stream for much longer? Really interested in seeing your reactions to the Minecraft updates. I'm probably gonna get, like, some sleep and stuff here. We can probably discuss it during, like, some other upcoming stream, if you want to see that. But I do kind of want to focus the stream on just the Pokemon stuff. And I might just make myself some cold medicine after this and maybe get, like, a few more hours of rest before I, get to work on, like, more of the stuff that I have to do with Twitch that I can't until about, like, 4 p.m. today anyway, so. And at some point today, I have to, like, go over to my Oma's place and empty the trash bins, take the trash outside. I gotta transplant a bunch of tomatoes today, because they're starting to get to a size where I need to transplant them. And it just paused the video and didn't, like, start playing the next one. Alright, let's see here. Let's go to this Mew Moore Stone Tower remix. How about something or other? What else was in this trailer? I guess there was, like, the UI and stuff. So there's the fact that it's a real-time battle and stuff. I think Steam will help with the nose. Steam, what? Yeah, what now? There's our Mega Ring and stuff. Ah. Time to main your Absol and Amphibio. Time for me to main my Floridator as Florida Man. You gotta inhale the stream. Or the steam. Ah, yes. That's what I should do. Humidifier, that might help. Could go into a hot tub or something like that. Since we have one of those in our sunroom here, that might help me later. Yeah, let's see here. So there's one more glance over. So all in all, in terms of, like, general quality and how much they've finished the game, it looks better than Legends Arceus and Scarlet and Violet. It does look more fleshed out. It looks like they have taken more time with it compared to those titles. Though, I mean, you know, they don't have as much stuff to make when it's just, like, one city, I guess, where you're repeating the same kind of buildings over and over again with, like, slight differences. So maybe it's not as much more time taken for as much as it is just there's less workload, you could argue, potentially. I don't know. But the general quality does look better, but I am worried about the gameplay loop just getting, like, really boring really fast if it's just a city, where it's like some city has a little bit more greenery, some city has a little bit more water features, and some city is regular city. Oh, that's where it says which character you meet will depend on the appearance you choose for yourself in the game. Don't really know what this... Does he have a... Is he holding something behind him here that's that? Or does he have, like, a friggin' furry tail on his ass? Like, what has he got there? Is that... Maybe that's just his hair? Does it actually go that long? It's just his hair? Okay. It's kind of hard to tell. He has a tail, that's his hair. Yeah, probably no voice acting again. Sorry for asking again. Genuinely looked away for half a minute. I'm not sure. Answer your question about the website. For what website? What? Can't wait for the new Digimon story RPG. There's the Quesadilla ink and stuff. Totally not gonna be evil. But yeah, I am definitely worried that this game is gonna feel repetitive. I'm worried that it's gonna feel like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where it's just a big samey kind of world filled with missions that you do to, like, slowly move toward, like, some sort of larger objective. That's what I'm worried about here. Where in Valhalla, it's just go make friends. And this, it's like, go, like, catch Pokemon up to a certain level, go beat these people, and go do this stuff that AZ asks you to, that Quesadilla Inc. asks you to, and all that stuff. That's what I'm worried about here. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna try to focus this stream on just, like, the Pokemon stuff here, so that anyone tuning into, like, this on YouTube is just seeing, like, Pokemon-related stuff here, I figure. Can always go check that out during, like, some random other stream that I do, like Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Plus, I think I want to get, like, some sleep here pretty soon. And, you know, maybe some cold medicine is what I might just do. So yeah, I guess you can actually, like, move around and stuff, but yeah, The whole face buttons, the different moves, is very, very Xenoblade Chronicles 2. But it does make me wonder, like, for what reason would I have to play this over Xenoblade Chronicles 2? I guess just the fact that it's, like, Pokemon and I can Mega Evolve and stuff. Or something or other. But I am very, very worried about it just being, like, a city of missions and stuff. But yeah, if it's during AC Valhalla, do it during that. Because that's the series where I'm getting, like, bored out of my mind, and I'm looking for, like, excuses to do other things and, like, mix things up. My other 2 playthroughs of, like, Binding Blade and Final Fantasy VII that I'm doing right now are probably a bit more active, where it's like there's a lot more things to be actively doing in the game. But AC Valhalla, I'm looking for stuff to do. Screenshots of game footage from product in development, not final. Products, content, and features subject to changes. Yeah. Can't wait to get, like, 4 hours of sleep. But yeah, do appreciate you stopping by, hanging out here despite being late, Gear Koviak. Still cannot believe they sued Powerworld for a patent. Nintendo, go home, you're drunk. Yep. Apparently a bunch of those patents have been dropped. Those patent, like, charges. I think I heard that there was, like, 23 that they were pressed on, and, like, 22 of them were dropped, and, like, 1 is, like, still unsure, or something like that, and that Powerworld has been making changes to their game based on those patents. Like, you can no longer, like, throw the PAL ball to release a PAL, is what I've heard. I haven't actually played Palworld in a long time, but I've heard that they have, like, made changes to accommodate here. So, yeah. I'm still pissed off at Pokemon by the fact that they're suing Palworld. Like, honestly, compared to this, and compared to Palworld, I would honestly just play Palworld still. This is still what I would do. It's not installed on my system right now because I had my system, like, reset here recently. I have 1 achievement. I clearly haven't played it in a little while. Wow, I haven't played it in 1 year, 1 month, apparently. But, like, honestly, when you compare here, if I had to choose between playing this game and Palworld, I don't think I would really have any reason to play this over Palworld. Like, this doesn't look like some unfinished mess or anything like that, like Legends Arceus and Scarlet and Violet looked like when they first came out. Like, the quality does look a lot more fleshed out, but it just looks like a city where you, like, catch Pokemon and, like, do tasks that people ask you to do. Like, so I don't really know what would set it apart as a Pokemon game all that much. I guess, like, the gameplay system's here like this, but that would make me ask, like, if I want a real-time system like this, why wouldn't I just play Xenoblade Chronicles 2? And if I want, like, a more open Pokemon-like game, why wouldn't I just play Palworld? Like, what does this have going for it over that, apart from, like, this, that I can just go experience by playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2 instead? Like, it feels like there's better alternatives for all these things. Or if you want to, like, go explore, like, a big city or something like that, and go, like, run across rooftops and explore, like, different nooks and crannies, discovering things, just go play, like, Assassin's Creed 2 or something like that from 2009 or whenever the heck that game came out, you know? So, it feels like this is... I don't think that this is gonna be, like, a terrible game necessarily, but I'm worried that it's just gonna be, like, boring and not really have all that much going for it, and that there's gonna be, like, better alternatives for all the different things that has going for it. That's my concern. I won't be able to say for sure until the game comes out, so, like, I'll wait for the game to come out, I'll play it, I'll do, like, my full review at the end of the playthrough and stuff, and discuss what I think on it. But yeah, it does definitely look like it's gonna be more finished than the last couple Pokemon games. I'm just kind of concerned that it's gonna be boring. This is what I'm kind of concerned about here. As Legends AZ, cannot say ZA, it doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, that's my concern right now when it comes to this game. So, we'll see here. Like, what does it truly have going for it that sets itself apart from the competition? Now that there is, like, competition. Well, I guess the thing that they have going for them that sets themselves apart from the competition is the fact that they're not getting sued and have to deal with, like, maintaining their game in the midst of being sued. So they can focus on their game a lot more. Though I think Palworld still gets a lot more focus put into it than, like, modern Pokemon games too. Considering they'll just put out whatever quality they feel like. It kind of feels like anyway. Yeah. We'll see what ends up happening with Gen 10. And if they do, like, take away, like, some of the Legends advancements and go back to, like, hey, you touched a Pokemon, time to go, like, right into a battle immediately. No more field mechanics and stuff. Which, again, you could just go play Power World. Like, if I had more time to play more games, Power World is totally a game I'd play more of. It's just that there's so many other games that I want to, like, experience that I've never experienced before. And Power World seems like one of those games that could just, like, never end if you don't want it to end. Like, I know that there's a finite amount of content that you could get through if you wanted to, but I want to get through things like, I've never played Final Fantasy VII before. That's a big game in the gaming history that I've never played before. I want to play through that. Or I've never played Fire Emblem 6. I want to finally play that. Like, so many of these, like, clear start-to-finish single-player adventures that I kind of want to play through. But if I wasn't a content creator, I was just, like, playing games whenever I, like, felt like it just purely for the fun of it and not just like, hey, let's get these experiences finished and under my belt. Power World seems like the kind of game that I would probably play the shit out of. Like, honestly. And looking at this, it doesn't really have anything that really sells me on the game yet. I do think, like, the real-time battle stuff is pretty cool. And, again, like, the visual quality definitely looks a whole lot better than Legends Arceus and Scarlet and Violet. Like, I still have complaints about it, like, every window just being the same, repeated, so stuff feels really samey, and, like, the whole situation with shadows. But it doesn't look as terrible as the other ones there. It looks good enough that the average consumer probably isn't going to complain. Like, maybe the average consumer might notice, but, like, not be able to place their finger on, like, why it doesn't look as good. But I feel like the average consumer isn't going to complain as much compared to, like, Legends Arceus, Scarlet and Violet. Like, it does look more, like, more time was taken to it. And, like, new gameplay system with real-time combat. But what's going to stop it from feeling samey when it's just a city? The moment that they announced that it was just going to take place in one city, I was worried about the game. So, we'll see here. We shall see. I think I've pretty much said what I wanted to say here. I don't know if there's anything else really to say. And again, how is Sword and Shield going to be, like, the shining example of how to make, like, charming Pokemon environments? Like, I don't get it. I'm tired. I might grab, like, some cold medicine, get a few more hours of sleep, and then, go do stuff that I need to go do for the day, and then, work on exporting more of my Twitch stuff to YouTube and keep on archiving my full VODs and stuff like that, and, yeah. I don't think I'm gonna be doing any other streams until I, Oh, good night, you mad lad. At first, I read that as, like, I was muted. I think I read Mad Lad as muted, and I panicked for a second there. But yeah, and I'll stream again when I feel a little bit better. So maybe I'll be streaming again by this weekend, or something like that. I honestly thought this Presents was gonna be yesterday. I was preparing for it to be yesterday, and it was today. But for whatever reason, I thought for sure it was Wednesday. But yeah, it's a Thursday thing, so... I don't know. I'm not doing another stream later today. Maybe I'll do one tomorrow if I'm feeling better or on, like, the weekend. But I want to be feeling, like, 100% before I do that, because I'm still, like, sniffling and feeling like crap, honestly. So, I'm not feeling great. So, I'm gonna rest a little bit, work on some more of this stuff that I need to do of, like, archiving my VODs and stuff. Get some cold medicine, get a little bit of rest, and work on my other stuff that I need to do for the day. So greatly appreciate everybody that tuned into this. Anybody watching this on YouTube after the fact, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on Pokemon Legends ZA in the comments. I know that a lot of YouTubers will say that, like, just for the sake of, like, getting engagement and, like, you know, algorithm brownie points, but I am actually curious what people think about this game, honestly. Like, I know there was the contention with, you know, things like Legends Arceus, Scarlet and Violet, more so with Scarlet and Violet. But Legends Z, I'm honestly curious if, like, more people are hyped about this game, or, engagement, that's right, or what they think, even just, like, general gameplay-wise, the fact that it's just, like, in this one city, like, what are people thinking about that, is one of the things I'm curious about here, and we'll see how well this game ends up performing, and I am curious to see more about it, because right now it's just like, hey, go do stuff in a city. In a different battle format, so that's cool, but yeah, I don't know here. So, yeah, I'm gonna head out of here for now. Appreciate everybody that tuned in. I'll stream again when I feel better, which I really don't right now. So yeah, until next time, take care and see you. Probably just play it like I did with Scarlet and Violet just for the sake of playing it. Yeah, I'll get a little bit of rest here after I get some cold medicine. So, and this will go up on YouTube, like, probably pretty late today, considering, again, I'm at my limit of, like, the past 24 hours of uploading videos, because I've been exporting things like crazy. So, yeah, this will probably go up pretty late today. Will be the case. Sometime later today, I'll make, like, a thumbnail, and yeah. See ya. Rewatch your Scarlet and Violet video essay to make you feel better. Is that how it works? Well, appreciate it, and see you.